Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Yeehaw Lads podcast, episode number 76. Today we've got a very special guest on the line with us, a Mr. Tony Gearheart, who I Rallycross race with. I didn't get this far ahead into my
He's
speech.
the modified all-wheel drive.
They just put the ranking out today. Are you currently the leader?
Why don't you pull a picture up of his car?
Yeah, I can.
Because then everybody kind of
definitely could have prepped this intro. Tony, say hi to the people.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, so you are one of the most experienced, I would say, rallycross, rally drivers, rally in general.
Yeah, how much
not just
experience
rallycross.
do you really have racing? Because it sure seems like a lot.
So I started Rallycross in 2016. I've been doing stage rally since 2019.
Damn,
Okay, so you've got 8 years of rally racing, more or less.
Yeah.
That is quite a bit more than the rest of us who all have part of a
couple
season.
of months, yeah.
Yep.
3 races
Yeah.
Well, there you
and a
go.
practice.
So for anyone who doesn't know, this is Tony's car. What exactly is this car?
So this is a 2004 Subaru STI. I actually bought this car in 2008.
Oh, no shit.
Wow. Damn.
Yep.
So this was still a nice car when you bought it.
Oh, it was beautiful. Like I used to wash it all the time and wax it and everything.
Okay. What color was it originally? It looks like black.
It is black. Yep. So
Okay.
all the red and white you see on there is a wrap.
Oh,
gotcha.
Oh, so you didn't spray your car with tractor paint like I did.
No, I did not.
Yours is actually done mildly well.
A little bit decently, yes.
Okay. What made you want to buy a Subaru? Because I personally have no interest in owning Subaru products, but everybody else seems to love it. What drew you to this car?
So I was always interested in the sports cars, kind of grew up with Fast and Furious and shit like that. I was interested between the Evo and the Subaru. And
Sure,
then
the classic battle.
Exactly. So I just started shopping around and I found this car on Craigslist from a guy who bought it from an auction. So I knew nothing about the car and either did he.
Sure.
So I took it for a test drive, ended up blowing the turbo on the test drive.
Holy shit.
I was like, get this shit fixed and I'll buy it. And he did. And he ended up fixing up the car and I bought it and it was a lot cheaper than what it should have been. I don't even remember the price at the time.
Because it was kind of an unknown auction find special at this point. With
Pretty much, yep.
You said it was 2008?
It's 2008 when I bought the car, yeah.
Holy shit.
A good deal is
Okay.
a good deal.
So hold on. Where I'm not familiar. Where are you from? Where did you grow up? Like where did you buy this car? Were you out of state? Like
Yep, fair
cetera.
enough. So I'm sure you've seen the license plate. So I'm in the military. So I'm pretty much
Okay.
a mutt when it comes to where I'm from and where I've been and stuff like that. So
kind of been a little bit of everywhere is
gotcha.
more.
I'll say I didn't know if that had any influence on what car you were going to buy, because like some people need an all-around car, so Washington plate makes it seem like you might need all-wheel drive, so that kind of makes sense. You're not going to go buy a Mustang and drive it all through all 4 seasons and such. So
Right.
Nope. So I was born in Indiana. I grew up in Michigan, and then I joined the military right out of high school. I got stationed in Washington for my first command, and then that's where I found that car. So where I lived in Washington, there wasn't actually that much snow. It would snow maybe an inch or two throughout the year. Like it was nothing.
Okay. Where in Washington were you? Because we've been all over the state of Washington.
correct.
So it was in Bremerton. So where Seattle is, it's right to the west of Seattle.
Okay.
Oh,
So we never went that far
No.
over. We
Yeah.
pretty much stayed the middle of the state.
Yeah,
when
we
did
flew
our-
into Spokane and then went from Canada border down to Oregon through the center. I'm not sure what the mountain range is called, but yeah, the center of the
Olympics.
state essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
through
yeah.
the backcountry discovery route. Not sure if you've heard of it.
I think I have.
Okay. Yeah.
You'll have to check out our documentary.
Yeah.
I will have to
Plug
do
that
It's
real
3
quick.
hours of shit. Don't watch it.
There's a podcast or a movie if you really want. So yeah, we did both, but yeah, so we're familiar enough, but yeah. So that makes sense. A little bit of influence as to why you wanted a Subaru. If I'm assuming it was your all 4 seasons car, you didn't have multiple, especially being in the military. You usually only are able to ever have one.
I had probably more money than I should have. So 4 days after I checked into that command, I bought a 77 Camaro.
Okay.
Like I was into those cars. It was cheap and I had a whole bunch of money. And so I bought that. And then I bought a crotch rocket a couple months later. And then
Marcus is a huge. These guys are
crotch
both
rocket.
huge bike guys. You got to get
Awesome.
more than
What
just for
the-
crotch
yeah,
rocket.
What crotch rocket?
it was a 07 Gixxer 750.
He's a Gixxer guy.
Yep.
Oh, no.
I'm starting to put the pieces together.
Marcus is a humongous Yamaha guy.
do
That's
love
his.
my Yamaha.
That's his jam.
Okay.
Top to bottom, right
yeah,
there.
the Gixxer was my first bike. I sold that a couple years later, and then I bought an R6. I didn't like how the R6 felt, so definitely like the Gixxer a little bit better.
I was in between getting a Gixxer and a 600 Yamaha.
The problem is here in Illinois, all the Gixxers have been stunted and beat to hell.
Yeah,
They're all just
people like stand on the tanks and beat them in, and then there's like frame damage to them, and it's like I'm not gonna pay you $6,000 for a piece of shit
Yeah.
that you don't care about.
it's just been abused.
Fair enough.
Okay, so 77 Camaro and a Gixxer. That's a good
Hell
a
yeah.
good starting garage.
So yeah, what's
Sounds like you were 18. Yeah.
yeah, I was actually 19.
Yeah.
I think. But,
That is 19 with too much money all day.
Yeah. So yeah, once I had those two, I was like, yeah, the winter's coming. The Camaro is a piece of shit, so I need an actual car. So I bought that car, from that dude off Craigslist. It was bone stock,
Okay, like nothing.
absolutely nothing done to it.
Yeah, I'll say because you said blue turbo, so I'm like, oh, maybe like,
tuned.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
some,
that would have been probably like early modified Subaru days, but yeah, it would have been.
There was nothing done, and I laugh about
Okay.
it now. It's like, yeah, if I would have left that stock, I could sell that car for 40, 50 grand.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
it'd be a
Oh,
perfect,
fucking
clean
mint.
example of the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's. I mean, you could sell it for good money now.
Hey,
it's just
at
a little
least
different.
Yeah.
I'll say at least you have stories that are worth
yeah.
that much now.
And like again with the whole Washington story, you're giving that car like a soul and a life,
Oh, yeah.
and like.
Character.
Yeah.
Yeah, what else would you do with even if this car was a piece of shit to begin with? I laugh. Mine's a hunk of junk, and I
junk.
rally the piss out of it.
oh yeah.
I don't know. You're not on the points leaderboard, so
Fuck
you don't. You can't
fuck
rally
you.
it that hard.
I have mechanical issues I need to deal with first.
He has fun
So
with it.
He
Yeah.
tries anyway.
Yeah.
An hour drive, it starts pushing coolant out of it, but
It's
it is.
fine. My head gaskets are somewhat non-existent.
It is. So
we're
it
gonna
makes,
we're gonna
things.
fix it.
yeah.
Foreshadowing.
Fuck.
Okay. Well,
Okay, so you bought a Subaru.
Yeah.
So naturally, you thought you were the next Ken Block and just started hucking this thing around, or what?
Yeah, more or less. So I think
Hell yeah.
at the time, me and my wife went and watched the Olympus rally out in Washington, and that was the first rally I ever been to because I've always kind of been interested in it, but we managed to get out there. And I saw Ken Block. I actually had to move out of the way so he could back in during the expose. It
okay,
was
so
pretty
that-
cool.
It's one of those, like you shake somebody's hand, you're like, well, I'm not washing this hand for a week.
Yep.
The whole kind of like meet your heroes thing.
Yeah, and that's all.
Brian, you're in the background of this picture, by the way.
What?
You're in the background of this picture of Tony's car right now. I just
Yes,
realized.
this was at the
Yeah.
event that both of us were at.
I see that. I just noticed. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Autism. Go ahead.
So yeah, met a whole bunch of really cool people. I met Travis Pastrana, got his autograph. Met Ken Block, got his autograph. But one of the other guys that were racing at the time, and how old are you guys actually? Before I say this,
So I guess I'm
27.
the youngest, still being 26.
Yeah.
but
26 also.
yeah.
all right, little babies. Do you know who Dave Mira is?
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Yes. I'm very familiar. I have one of his BMX bikes actually. Yeah.
So
BMX God, the
Yeah.
best of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. So I grew up, watching him, playing him on video games and shit like that. Well, he was there at that race. Like he just started. So Travis Pastrana had a huge, group of people around him and everything else. Same with Ken Block. And then I was like, I got to find Dave Mira. I grew up playing this dude on fucking video games. So I walked up to him. He was talking to one other person.
Oh, no shit.
Hell yeah.
Nobody knew who he was. So I sat there and had like a 20-minute conversation with this dude.
That's awesome.
So that was really cool. That was definitely one of the highlights. And then, obviously enjoyed the rally and stuff. And then I was like, yep, I want to do this. And at the time, it was Rally America that ran everything. And with their rules, you had to start in a two-wheel drive non-turboed car.
Oh, it was like
Ooh,
a tiered kind of
okay.
like
Gotcha.
you had to like earn your licensing
Yep.
through events almost. Okay.
So I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to rally my car. So never really got into it, but I, Washington's full of logging roads and stuff like that. So
Oh, yeah.
me and a couple buddies found a perfect little loop, little bit of tarmac, little bit of dirt, and we'd go out fucking around like 10 o'clock at night.
and just hauling ass
That
through the
sounds like a
mountains.
great fucking time.
I
I wish we had roads like that with a little bit of curve in them.
Growing up somewhere that like rally is actually a thing
Yeah.
because there's mountains and cool roads, it's got to be way cooler than growing up where it's completely flat and there's one semi-cool road around here.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we have the Mark and Cherry Dump.
Yeah,
That's
a coal
not-
dump. It's just a
That's about
giant
it.
pile of dirt.
That's the highest things.
That doesn't count as elevation when it's just a pile.
No,
literally.
but
You know.
But yeah.
Yeah, so I think I got a video on my YouTube channel of me actually going down that road.
Oh, that
okay,
actual like segment.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Question, because I find this a lot of times is most people who are either drivers or racers in their adult life started out in some sort of competition, sometimes race-based as a child. Were you into anything like maybe not sports, but dirt bikes as a kid, something along those lines? Anything?
Kinda. So I grew up poor as fuck. So I didn't have any dirt bikes, nothing like that. But definitely grew up, skateboard, BMX, scooter. I built my own street luge as a kid, which is fucking stupid.
what the
It
fuck?
was so dumb.
I'll
Dude,
say,
that's
honestly,
cool as
I'll say
hell.
we're gonna Google that because I genuinely don't really know exactly what that is, but it sounds neat.
It's laying down on a
Spell
skateboard.
luge.
Louge?
I have no idea.
So
No, yeah, that's street leagues.
Yeah, it's
no.
autocorrected.
Street luge.
How do you spell luge?
Luge.
Oh,
Okay, I had an extra
There you
E
go.
in there, so it was correcting the lead.
Yeah,
Oh,
good lord.
those dudes. That's okay.
Okay, this,
dangerous as fuck.
Yeah, I'll
this
say that.
stuff.
You're a
This
ballsy
dude's
man.
got balls.
Oh, this is psychotic.
yeah.
Yeah, it was literally a
Oh, they're in the air?
skateboard
Holy
and some
fuck.
wood.
Oh my
Hell
god.
Fair.
I mean,
yeah.
that's kind of what it looks like even in the pictures, but
fair, yeah.
these look a little fancier
are
than
pretty
I'm
fair.
assuming.
Little- little
Okay.
carbon fiber arrow going on.
Did you wear the helmet or were you just
no.
a kid and you didn't care? Okay,
Absolutely
fair.
not.
I mean,
see?
it'd be a shame to
He
wear a
had
helmet.
street luge. We had rolling down a hill in a fucking dryer tub.
There you
Same
go.
potato.
You guys are
Oh.
so much dumber. That's
a little bit.
absolute.
We used what we could. We didn't have
Yeah.
elevation and
we don't
hills.
have hills.
Yeah.
You
And if we did, they're very windy and go into trees.
You
we
had
would've
one
died.
big hill. You guys were so afraid to go down it.
Correct.
That's a big hill.
Yeah.
But yeah, just
Okay, so
grew up doing
you've been a psychopath.
yeah, stupid stuff like that. My first car when I was 16 was a 92 Oldsmobile Cutlass, front wheel
hell
drive. But I had dirt roads all around me, and me and my buddies before school, I'd go pick up my buddy and we'd go drifting, and it was one of those things where you had the foot brake, the parking brake, and the
Yes.
handle release, and I would hold on to the handle and just like pump the brake as my
Yep.
e-brake, and we'd go drifting around, before school. So I think
Yeah, I had a Grand Prix, so it was
Yep.
like it was press in with your foot, but then press to release too.
Oh, so you just got fast at double
so just
pressing?
trying to double step it and constantly loop the thing. I'm
Yep.
like,
Oh,
well, it's fun,
Yep.
But yeah, not nearly as much dirt around here. It's more like gravel and just bad roads in general.
Yeah. But
So you're just hucking around an Olds Cutlass.
yep. So pretty much started with that, and then once I got that Subaru and managed to find those roads, it kind of started from there. And then after Washington, I moved down to San Diego, and then me and a whole bunch of other Subaru guys, we go race the mountains. There was this pie place called Julian. Julian was the city, but there was a pie place up there. But for like an hour, we would just race these mountains, all on tarmac, but having a lot of fun out there. And then I moved to Panama City Beach, Florida, and I found a 10 square mile undeveloped paved housing development. So
I'll say those are really popular, especially in Texas. A YouTuber I watch who's into supermotos does that a lot. It is perfect tarmac with curbing, everything.
Wow.
It is a racetrack that if you have an imagination for
Oh,
it.
yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
That's fucking dead.
Yeah, so we would go out there usually at nighttime so we can see headlights just in case. But we'd go out there for hours just drifting these streets because there was nobody out there, no houses, nothing.
That's awesome.
Yep. And then after that, I moved to Connecticut. I went to a little Subaru car meet, and one of the guys there, Derek, he's a really good friend of mine still. He had some stickers and shit on his car, and I was like, "What do you do?" He's like, "Oh, I do Rallycross." I've never even heard of it at this time. So started looking it up and then started going because this is when I moved to Connecticut and it was all like New England region. So a lot of the races were in Vermont, New Hampshire. And then
we also traveled out that way, so we're also mostly familiar with the region type. Yeah, we went to both corners in our. Well, my shitbox did both trips, but Brian's
that's where my racing fit
is from Vermont.
Is from Vermont.
So because you got the Climb Mount Washington sticker on your car, right?
Yep. Yes, we both do.
Yeah, I've got a Vermont temp tag on the back.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Climb Mount Washington. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, so in Connecticut, I first went to my little Subaru car meet and then met up with a friend of mine, Derek. I'm still really good friends with him. He had a whole bunch of stickers on his car, and he's like, yeah, I do Rallycross. So signed up for that and then started getting into that. And it was kind of funny because, throughout, however many years I've owned this car now, I've slowly built it up.
I was going to ask that. I'm like, is the Subaru still stock, or is this already falling into like a prepared or a modified class?
No. So in California, I blew the motor on one of the mountain runs.
Sure.
Okay.
And so I built up the motor a little bit. It's got bigger pistons, bigger turbo injectors, just everything in it at this point.
Yeah, you got it apart. Might as well beef her up a bit.
Exactly. Yep. So that's when I went through and did everything. So when I first started Rallycross racing, I had 320 horsepower to the wheels.
That's pretty healthy.
That's respectable.
It was a good amount. But in Rallycross, when I first started on snow tires, it was too much.
Sure.
Because anytime you hit the throttle, I was spinning.
Yep.
So I was slow as fuck. I was always close to the back of the pack. But at the same time, especially in the New England region, probably 3/4 of the people that raced were in the stage rally.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Because they have both up there.
Yep.
Yeah, must be nice.
They only have New England Forest Rally, which is not a thing anymore. But we'll get into that later. But yeah, a lot of the guys did stage rally. But, I was having fun. I was doing Rallycross. It was tons of fun. And then started talking to a couple of the guys that did stage rally. And, this at the time, they started going from Rally America to ARA. Okay. And I looked up the ARA rules. And basically they said, take whatever fucking car you want. Because if you crash, it's on you.
Yeah, and that is honestly the best way to have the rules is like run what you brung and take it home yourself,
Yep, because, Rally America was so afraid of having slow people in fast cars that were going to kill themselves.
Sure.
And ARA at the... Yeah.
Yeah, that is a justifiable thing to be worried about.
Yeah, I mean, and like, the nice thing about when we go to rally is, we're very... cautious. Safety is the number one priority, but we're also there to have a good time and have fun.
You can say we're slow. It's fine. I mean,
I'm slow. You're doing pretty damn good for your first season out there.
I mean, we're all still 100 horsepower or less, pretty much. So
but I mean, we have room to grow too,
right?
Which I think, especially in such of a sport like this, I think I kind of had a really big I'm going to get in here and piss some guy off because I'm too slow and he's trying to get a good lap time. And it's like, fuck, send that piece of shit. Let's go. And it's like, it's a good crowd to be around. And that's something that's, really good.
Oh, yeah. So then ARA comes out of nowhere, or has it been there and you just hadn't seen it yet?
I think they kind of came out of nowhere. I don't know exactly the background or if somebody took over for them and then changed the name or whatever. But yeah, ARA was like, you know what? Do whatever you want with the car. They put restrictors in the turbos and stuff like that.
Okay.
But so once that happened, I was like, okay, so now I have the chance to actually build my car. Mm-hmm. So I've been slowly building it up. I put in some bullshit race seats in there and harnesses and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But once I was like, all right, this is what I want to do, and talking with all the guys that still currently do stage rally, getting kind of tips and tricks from them and what to do and cage builders and all this and that, I basically saved up for a year and a half or 2 years and finally pulled the trigger from I can still drive this car on the road to now it's going to be an actual race car and no more on the road time.
Yeah, that switch from street car to race car is you have to decide it.
Yep, absolutely. So, I saved up enough money and then got the cage built. Got the certain, because basically the cage is kind of built around you and the seats.
Okay.
So you have to have those first so they can kind of build a cage around those.
Gotcha.
But yeah, got the cage built and then starting getting hooked up with sponsors, and the wrap on the car right now is from one of my sponsors. Where I was
really?
I was like, hey, I'm starting to get interested in all this, and this is my future plans. This is what I've done so far. And he's like, yep, I love to help local people. And then they wrap the car.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's dope.
Sweet.
Yeah. But so once I got everything built, we did a rally sprint through SCCA. They don't do rally sprints anymore, but in New England, because this was at Team O'Neill Rally School.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So they do rally sprints there, which is basically you have to have a fully ready stage car because you're at speed, like you're fucking moving.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a 1 day super chill, low miles, not worried about, winning or anything else like that. Like you're out there to have fun.
Yeah.
But
sure.
that's your true first taste of stage rally.
So it's the first chance you really get to be at speed, not necessarily, like Rallycross is quick, but it's not the same amount of speed as I'm assuming a stage rally.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of speeds would you, at this point, like the car's 300-ish wheel, a little bit more, what kind of speeds are you actually getting to?
Yeah, so once I went from Rallycross to stage rally, I actually put the car basically back to stock. So
because you're building it around a rule set at this point then?
Yep,
Gotcha.
100%. So, if you have a bigger turbo, which I did at the time, I would basically be in Travis Pastrana's class.
Oh,
yeah.
shit.
So I was like, I don't want to do that. So
I don't want to be that far into it.
Yeah, so I went back to an OEM turbo and had to put the restrictor in and everything else. Like my car still has it's bigger pistons, same fuel injectors, a little bit different airflow and exhaust. But as far as the classes go, like I'm not in Travis's class. I'm in what's called limited four-wheel drive.
Okay.
So it's a relatively normal car.
Sure. It's closer to a prepared class than it is anything.
Yep,
Okay.
exactly.
Sure.
So
Gotcha.
so I did the rally sprint, had fun with that, and then we did New England Forest Rally of 2019 was our first stage rally.
Gotcha.
Okay.
I was going to ask about what timeline this was. So
I think the sprint was 2019.
gotcha.
Okay.
So it was around a year of building the car because like I had the cage built by somebody because like don't get me wrong, I can weld.
But not enough to trust trees at 100. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I had the cage built by somebody else. They also did the strut tower reinforcements because like with rally cars, you slam the car down 100 miles an hour, the struts go through the fucking roof.
Yeah.
So,
And that's a bad time real quick.
yep. So I had those reinforced, and then I also had them make pen stands for the car.
Okay.
Yeah, so like normal jack stand, when you lift up the car, you set the jack stands under, you got to kind of look where it's going, slowly lower down the car. Well, the pin stands are the triangle frames that go into the side of the car.
Yes.
Yes.
And there's 4 of them, one at each corner.
Yep, exactly.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I had them build those, and then, after the sprint, and then we kind of knew a little bit more things like camelbacks, right?
Like the hydration pack things?
Yeah, so you wouldn't think about that, but on a stage rally, you're in the car for 2 days straight between transit and stage miles. So obviously you still need to drink water, but you don't want a case of water in the fucking car.
Bouncing around with you.
At the sprint, guys had camelbacks strapped to the back of their seats. I was like, that's fucking genius.
Yeah, that's a genius idea, especially if you're in the car all day. Yeah.
Yep.
Here's those rally stands you were talking about.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So these just pin into the side of the car here.
Yep. So that's the best thing about those because you just lift up the car, you slide those in, and you slam the car back down.
Yeah.
And you can be pretty confident in them.
Yep.
There's no
Yeah, they're very strong.
Yeah, so if you're on, some gravel or dirt, you're not worried about necessarily sliding off of it or the jack stand leaning as you pick it all the way up or anything.
Yep. So, and there's a lot of rules involved with everything. Like everything you have to do for stage rally is defined in the rules. So like, in that picture where you have the pin stands, there's wood, a little piece of wood zip tied to the bottom of those because you have to have wood underneath the jack stands or pin stands when you're in service.
Sure, just as a kind of precaution so it doesn't sink into gravel or sand or whatever.
Yep, exactly.
It makes a ton of sense.
A little bit more grip than painted tube.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Okay.
But
So at this point, you are still like a limited class, nothing crazy, and starting to do stage rallies then?
Yep. Yeah, so New England Forest Rally of 2019 was our first one. We finished, right? I don't remember where we placed. Well, that's the thing with stage rally, right? Is I think usually about half the pack crashes or just doesn't finish.
Dang.
I suppose on a 2-day event of you pretty well sending it the whole time, it's pretty likely something goes wrong.
Especially being fresh into sport, that's pretty respectable to at least finish.
Yep. So we finished, and that's all I was asking for because there's about probably 8 stages per day. So
shit.
Okay.
usually every single stage, you're going to pass somebody, 1 or 2 people that are off in the ditch.
Okay.
Damn.
So it's like, I'm assuming it's a staggered start because are they doing it one at a time and they just haven't drugged the cars out yet?
Yep, staggered start. So basically, usually they run each stage twice. That kind of seems how it goes in the day. But you'll pass somebody and they'll be in the ditch. They'll get pulled out eventually when they can. But
Sure.
yeah, so you're running all day. It's absolutely insane.
Is it at that point? Is it more exhausting or more fun by the end of that?
It depends on the rally.
Sure,
So
that makes sense.
New England Forest Rally, ironically enough, since I lived there for 6 years and raced that race 2 or 3 times now. I hate that rally because
It's one of those.
Go ahead.
It's one of those things you do it over and over and over, and you're just like, give me something new, anything, or is it just brutal on you?
It's brutal. So I could do it every single day, but it's the fact that it's so brutal on you because the recce, the 2 days prior when you're going through the stage in a normal car, going over the notes and stuff, it takes all day to do that.
Oh,
Okay.
And then the race days are Friday and Saturday, and you're waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning on both days to go do the stage all fucking day.
Oh my god.
It makes standing out in a field at Byron a little bit easier, huh?
Yeah.
Setting up cones every once in a while.
Oh, God forbid, yeah.
Yeah, and then other stage rallies I've done, we don't start racing until noon. So it's like you get to sleep in for a little bit, you get to hang out with the guys, and then go race for a little bit. Yeah, because New England, the stages are fun, but a lot of the transits in between the stages can be 30 to 45 minutes.
Okay.
Shit.
So
And are you loading the car up, or are you still driving it?
no,
on-
you're driving the car.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you're cruising down back roads and highways at 55 miles an hour on gravel tires, just listening to that.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at. Is at this point you're probably on a prepped-ish tire, so they're just chewing the road up.
A little bit, yeah, but I mean you're on transits for 45 minutes. It's so long and grueling, but it's a fun race.
I say it's like even going from laps at Byron, which are pretty short, to just what we were doing over the weekend, which is 3-minute lap times. I'm like, oh, this is way more fun.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I'm assuming longer stages to an extent. You get more time, you're more speed, everything kind of flows together a little bit more and makes it more enjoyable.
There's a limit on that.
Oh, I'm sure there's a limit on
So
that.
there's a lot of stage rallies where you'll have a 20-minute stage where
Oh my God.
you are at speed, adrenaline is to the max, your heart rate's at the max for 20 minutes.
See, yeah, I'm hearing stage rally. I'm thinking 5, 7, 8
Yeah,
minutes.
that sounds tiring.
20 sounds exhausting.
That's very exhausting.
And this is all like proper rally, like you're doing
Yeah.
course notes and stuff. So you have to kind of have a mental idea of everything that's going on and coming up because you're doing it at speed.
Yep, there's a lot going on.
That sounds mentally tiring just as much as physically tiring.
It is, the running joke in the community is you have a rally hangover. And
I could totally
the
understand
adrenaline
that.
crash and just
definitely.
all of your physical energy is exerted. Absolutely.
I mean, I remember the first time at Byron, I got out after the first and like my hands are shaking. I'm like, everybody's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm coming down, like I'm crashing right now. This is not good." And I couldn't imagine, having course notes in there and trying to not only memorize but process what's coming in front of you as you're trying to read what's next. That to me is just a whole other fucking level.
Yeah, did it take you a while to kind of like
learn how to do that?
Yeah, I don't know the right word to say that. Yeah, learn how to do that is kind of the right idea.
Yep. So there's definitely a learning process. So my co-driver Josh Alexander, me and him been friends pretty much since I moved to Connecticut. His wife has a badass Subaru Bug-Eye. Like her entire basement is full of fucking car show trophies.
Oh, damn.
Like, the car is insane. So, because she would take that car to car meets and car shows and stuff like that, and I would do the same with mine before I started Stage Rally. Started talking with her husband, Josh, and we became really good friends. And when I, finally decided to pull the trigger, I was like, hey, I need a co-driver. You and I are really good friends. Because that's the thing is, like, you're in the car together between recce and racing for 4 fucking days.
Oh my god!
So it's like you got to be good friends with each other.
You've got to tolerate each other.
Exactly.
For 4 days.
So
So what you're saying is me and Andy could never be in Stage
Probably
Rally.
not, no.
I'd reach over and fucking kill you.
You guys can't be in the car together for 4 hours, let alone 4 days.
Correct.
One of you's pulling the handbrake at 80 and getting it over with.
Yep. So yeah, him and I were really good friends, and then before we started, we practiced around his house at some like twisty roads of writing pace notes, and then kind of going through them and reading through them and stuff like that. And then at the first rally sprint we did, they give you pace notes. So basically, they put a computer in the car, and with all the telemetrics and geometry and whatever, the car will actually tell the computer, what angle and stuff like that. So that starts.
Oh wow!
It's insane. Yeah.
I always kind of wondered how they did that, and that makes sense.
It's some computer in the car that does all that.
Huh.
That just sounds like space magic at this point. That seems ridiculous.
It's a little weird, and I have no idea. But yeah, so for the first rally sprint we did, they give you all the pace notes. So you still do a recce at the rally sprint. You go nice and slow, and you can change stuff as you want. But at the sprint, it's a little bit more fast paced than a normal stage rally, because stage rally you have all day to do recce. At the sprint, it's like, all right, you're going to drive this course once very quickly, and then good luck.
Yeah, it's borderline a parade lap.
Yep.
You're like, this is what they call a left 3. Are you kidding me? You're like trying to like figure out how their notes compare to what you would expect to know from your side, I guess.
Yep. So there's a lot of learning, a lot of research, and actually Dirt Rally, the video game, is
I was going to bring that up eventually.
One of the hardest video games on the planet.
Yeah.
The first one was not bad. Dirt Rally 2, I swear to God, they made it way more hard. But that's my own fault, I guess.
Yep. So
they looked at Dark Souls and said, we can beat that. Made it impossible.
Yeah, so that's actually a really good game to practice on. A lot of people do that to practice.
More for the notes or just kind of gotcha.
Nope, for the
being able to process that information quick enough to determine what's actually coming up ahead.
Yep, it's for the notes and the cadence, and then the game is actually really good with the physics in the game of how the car handles. But so anyway, so we played around a little bit with that, and then our first couple of races, we went from the notes that were given to us, and then eventually we started writing our own notes.
You kind of see what they're, how they're laying out the notes, and you can kind of build your own off of that kind of idea.
Yep, pretty much. So like, during recce, if you got the notes from the organizers, you can go through and adjust it and stuff like that. But it's one of those things where, so basically the notes that a lot of people use, different people can use different things, but we use a 1 through 6 scale. So a right 1 is pull the handbrake, turn around, go the other way. And a right 6 is you're barely turning. So then
it's kind of the 1 through 6 is kind of like your speed through the corner, or is it just a sharpness?
Severity, like sharpness, severity.
It's the severity. It's also kind of on the gearing. It's a little bit of everything. So yeah, and again, you can adjust it, but a 6 is I'm in 6th gear and I'm barely turning the wheel. Sure. And then a 3 is more or less a 90-degree turn.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yep. And then you got pluses and minuses, and like there's so many variants of how the stage notes work. And then I've also learned a lot, from watching like Ken Block videos and stuff. Because
conveniently watching other rally racers.
So in Ohio has very weird roads. So a lot of the inside of the roads, there's like a little bit of a ditch. So one of the videos I watched of him and Alex was, Alex would call out like left 6 hook. So that hook would be, hey, take the tire and throw it into the ditch. And then
to kind of use the ditch as like a pivot point almost.
So you're using it as like train tracks.
Okay.
So it's like, okay, that makes a lot of sense for Ohio. I ended up beating him in Ohio, but
wait, hold on, let's go through that one more time. What?
So it's one of those things, and me and one of my really good friends, Dylan, he always gives me shit about it. But on paper, I've beaten Travis Pastrana and Ken Block a couple of times now.
I mean, on paper is good enough. That counts.
Well, fuck me.
So it's because they crash.
Hey,
on paper it counts.
I know, and that's why I always give shit to Dylan. It's like, if you think about NASCAR, when Dale Earnhardt and Tony Stewart race, if Tony Stewart crashes, if Dale Earnhardt beats him, does he actually beat him? Well, yeah.
Sure sounds like it on paper.
So I don't know. It's always one of those things. It's like, well, I ended up podium and Travis didn't. So
that's a win in my books. I mean, that's awesome.
Personally, hell yeah, I'd take that as a win as I beat him.
That's something you put on the resume. That's that's
beat
something you
Travis Pastrana.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's something that you brag about, and your buddy's like, well, he didn't finish it.
Yeah, it's like, I don't care about your technicalities. Fuck off, okay?
And that's the thing. It is a technicality. Again, if me and Travis were to race, head to head, he's going to beat me. I get that. He also has a $500,000 car. But
also true.
If he crashes and I finish and I end up on podium, I still fucking beat him.
Yep.
That's still a win.
Doesn't matter if it's an inch by a mile or an inch or a mile.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I'm sick. I'm blaming it on me. I'm all fucked up.
You better not be.
I don't know. Anyway. There was a race in Ohio where we were on stage going hot and we passed Ken Block. Like him and Alex were sitting outside the car holding an OK sign as they were supposed to be. And we passed by them. I was like, oh my God, that was Ken Block.
Hey, yo.
You're like, oh, there goes Ken Block behind me. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
such a cool, like meeting somebody, to meet and greet's cool or whatever, but like, you're like, oh, hey, that's that. Oh, there you go. I'm ahead of him. Wait a minute. It's going to be a whole different experience.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
That's awesome. So was there ever a point which you were confident in your pace notes and you guys screwed up a little bit? Kind of have an oh shit moment, or was it all like pretty slow, careful, figuring it out?
We've always been pretty careful. So like, going back to when I was talking about writing our own notes versus getting the notes from the organizers. I'm not the greatest at judging distance, right? So between in the pace notes, you'll have like a left 2, 100, right 4. So that means there's a left 2, and then once that corner is done, you have 100 meters until the next corner.
Sure, so they can kind of feed you 2 corners in a row because it's going to sneak up too quick for you to get both.
It can be, yeah. So when it comes to the notes that we get from the organizers, it'll say that exact thing. But if I were to write my own notes, because again, I'm bad at judging distances, I just look ahead and say a number. It could be different than what we've been given. So when we write our own stuff, I'm like, yeah, this is how I feel. And then, when we're at speed and you tell me this, that's the number that I have in my head.
Yeah.
Sure. It's not so much that the number has to be accurate to the foot. It's that you both understand that number means
it's
the
how
same
your
thing.
brain is going to process the information that's in front of you the best way and the fastest way.
That makes good sense.
Yeah, definitely. Make it to your own scale.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Gotcha. Well, also, it sounds like we've almost traveled to, the Midwest here. You sound like you were going in Ohio. Was that, I'm assuming, after in 2019? That was getting a little closer to today?
So I did, I really don't remember the dates, but I've done New England Forest Rally, I think twice. I've done Southern Ohio Forest Rally twice. I've done Show Me Rally in Missouri once. I've done Pennsylvania a couple of times now.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So then how do you end up here in the
Middle of
Illinois,
bumfuck
Wisconsin
nowhere.
area?
So again, just being in the military, I got stationed out here at the Great Lakes Naval Station, pretty much on the other side of boot camp.
Okay.
Gotcha.
And that brought you to this general area.
Yep.
So then once you got here, were you just like, where's some rallying here? I gotta find something.
Yeah.
Or?
I got to get that
Yeah,
itch.
pretty much. So, prior to moving out here, I've been rallycrossing forever. Once I first got out here, my car was completely fucked when I moved out here. So you might have to jump on my YouTube channel to show you the last video. But I think it was 2021 or 22. I did Southern Ohio Force Rally, absolutely destroyed my car. And then got help in different parts from other people in the area. And then I did New England Forest Rally, which was like a month later. And then after that, I was in the process of moving, so I really couldn't do anything. And then once I first moved out here, my car was still fucked. I had no suspension. Everything broke. And then I went with a buddy of mine, Dylan, who I work with in Connecticut. He moved out here too. He got stationed out here. And then he did a rallycross at Road of America. So I went with him, just hung out with him. He raced, he had fun, like while my car was still broken. And then I think the following year, I finally got my good suspension because I was still planning on doing Sage Rally. And then just, jumped in with the rallycross.
So is that these coils here? Is this the ones you're talking about?
So those are the new fancy ones I got from buddy, a different Dylan who's still in Connecticut. So he was selling those, they're very cheap. They're very good suspension. Like those are actual stage rally suspension. So he posted those for sale and I was like, hey, I'm going to buy those. Yeah, that's my name right there.
Hey, those are perfect. I'll take those right now.
Yep. So he gave those to another guy, and then that guy went to Ohio, and I actually drove from Illinois to Ohio to go pick those up and watch the rally and stuff.
Oh, nice.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, if you pull up my YouTube channel, and because I have a really good Ohio video, and that was the one where I completely destroyed the car, and we fixed it, and then we raced the next day. I still ended up breaking a lot of stuff, and then we actually had to pull out of the rally because my brakes were completely cooked to the point where they were leaking fluid.
Oh God, is it this one that's SS1
it's that
Big
one.
Jump? Is that that's the one that completely
Yeah, so
smashed
that's
this
a really
thing?
good video. I'm pretty proud of that one.
This little 2-minute
Yep.
clip.
So it's a 1 mile stage. I think it was about a minute.
4. Oh Jesus. Oh, that looks.
It was in fast forward. Andy, calm down.
I know, but it still looked pretty rough.
Yeah, so
Yeah, just looking at the face of it, I was like, oh wow, that looks at speed. Yeah, that could get
yep.
interesting.
So this is fun.
This looks awfully residential.
Yeah, so this looks like
This
just
is
a park. I'll
This
be
is,
honest.
I don't think
Okay.
it's like a school park or anything. It's just normal park. But close off, it's a 1 minute stage. I actually ended up leading the regional rally after the stage.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were very, very quick. Because the year prior to this, I was listening to Travis Pastrana's mechanics telling him not to send it over the jump. And so I didn't send it over the jump. And I barely left the ground. So after that, for this year, I was like, fuck that, dude. We're sending it over the jump.
Okay. So this is the clip where you. This is
right
right
here.
Oh shit!
Oh,
Fucking hell!
wow, that's a hit.
God damn, I got some asshole pucker
Oh,
just from
wow.
the video.
That's a solid 3-4 feet of air at least.
Here we go. Holy shit!
You're not the first person to do it though, because I see a lot of scrape marks on the ground.
Oh my, that's a lot of distance.
Good lord.
Hey,
Wow.
sounds like you're a crowd favorite.
Oh
though.
yeah, it was kind of funny. So we went 6 feet shorter than Travis Pastrana, and he has a $500,000 car, and I do not.
You're in
Fair.
a $20,000
Yeah.
car or whatever at this point.
So yeah, that was in. If you actually listen to the video, I told my co-driver, I was like, "Tell me to send it over the jump." That's exactly what he said.
You're like convince
Yep.
me to do it.
So it was kind of funny. If you watch the video, we landed because I had garbage suspension on it at the time. We landed so hard, both the sticks on the steering column, so the turn signal and the wipers. So the turn signal switch slammed down, so that turn signal was on. The wiper switch slammed down, so that was on. The mirror slammed down. My back slammed down. But it was...
Oh yeah.
Here, we'll run through it one more time just to keep an eye on all that stuff.
So you can probably see the mirror move and the wipers go off.
I noticed the blinker.
So did I.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wipers.
Oh Jesus Christ.
So that was just the gravity of the car slamming down that all that stuff went on.
Good lord.
So
Oh my
so
god.
we blew all the suspension. They were I still have the one in my garage. I'll have to find a picture of it and send to you guys. Basically,
Do you have it just sitting up as like a trophy?
I've been meaning to make it into the trophy of the best sender over that jump. Because
God.
basically it's the suspension, when it slammed down, it bent and then kept it in place. So the spring is fully compressed.
And it just basically bent it closed.
It bent it closed and
shit.
it stayed like that.
Oh
Yeah,
my god.
it's absolutely terrifying because all my buddies just call it the ticking time bomb because it's just
I was curious. I'm
yeah.
like, I was curious if it like blew all the pressure out of it too, or if it is literally just bent
yeah,
and compressed.
Yeah, if
the
springs-
spring's under pressure.
We call that kinetic energy.
That is it's potential
that a
about to
pipe
be
bomb.
fair.
Yeah.
it's absolutely terrifying. But it was
Jesus.
Go to take it off the shelf and drop it, and all of a sudden, ting! You're like, well, there's a hole in the wall.
yeah. Me and a lot of my crew guys have been playing with it and the sick and twisted humor we have.
Hot potato.
Oh my god.
Oh,
That
damn.
that is I think
fuck,
that's a little
that's
bit more
funny.
send than any of us have done in a while. That is nuts.
I was gonna bring up. I'm like, yeah, I have a 2001 Jeep Cherokee, and it's a rock crawler. But every now and again, I think that it's a rally car, and maybe every now and again I take it to places I shouldn't over a little too fast.
I think the only closest I've come to something like that is when I had the Blazer,
oh, piece of
and coming from your parents' house,
okay.
going onto the main road towards Standard, that curve is a big ass
Oh, yeah.
hill, and I hit it at like 70 mile an hour, and the front screws for the skid plate dug into the cement. They're still
yeah.
there.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can still
These
see them,
humongous grooves
and
into
just
it.
fucking launched it.
Oh my god. Yeah, I've hit that at like 60, but in a Crown Vic, it just floated over.
well,
it
yeah.
It didn't bother it the slightest.
Yep.
That big old
Yeah, no, I've definitely
first
taken my
shit
fair
box.
share, especially in the Jeep, of like just every fucking shock bottomed
Yeah.
out,
Oh,
and
yeah.
etc.
At least most of those are post cage, not pre cage.
It
About
might have been
50-50.
pre-K. It'd probably say 50.
Yeah. Well, we know who built the cage, so if you
Yeah,
die,
thank God
you know,
somebody's a good welder in this room. It's
somebody
not me.
had to. So you broke everything on the car base. So like all the shocks are blown, like hubs and stuff junk too, or do they? What all survived? and what
So
didn't?
after that jump, and it was fucked up because a lot of people are giving me shit about it because that was on Thursday evening. So we still had all day racing Friday, all day racing Saturday. So I blew all the suspension. Luckily, so the guys I work with, they're really fucked up and they're all for a weekend of drinking and wrenching on cars. So
Hell yeah.
I had
So you had this fixed before Friday morning, is what you're
100%.
saying.
I had like 6 dudes with me.
There you go.
So
yeah, you're like, I'm gonna go to the gas station, buy a 24 pack of beer, and this
Yep.
will be fixed by
that's
midnight.
pretty
We'll
much
figure
what
this
it was.
out.
So
Yep.
luckily, one of the guys that was racing there,
Fantastic.
he had an extra suspension. So he's like, I'll let you borrow it. If I fuck up my car, I'm gonna have to take it back. I was like, yep, no worries.
Yep.
I'm gonna take
Yep,
this
yep,
back.
yep.
So, yeah,
Oh
we
my
get back
God.
to the Airbnb. They swapped out everything, and then we raced for the majority of the day on Friday. But because one of the axles wasn't installed correctly, it kind of got fucked up, and then we burnt out one of the calipers, and then one of the axle nuts actually came off. So
Oops,
Okay.
forgot to tighten that all
so
the way.
we were on transit and we were going around a corner, and I'm turning the complete opposite direction that we should be going. So we
You're like, all of a sudden, something's just not quite
happy.
right.
So
Whoops.
it was completely fucked. And then so one of the guys at the very end, so once all the cars are done, they're called sweep. So basically a whole bunch of big ass Jeeps and trucks that pull cars out. So they came by us, and I was like, hey, we're good. The car's fucked. Call the crew. And then, the crew came and got us. And then I was like, you know what? We can try to fix the car. But when I was looking at the brakes, they were black. Like I had red WRX brakes on the car. And they were red. They were completely black. So I was like, nope,
Holy
we completely
shit.
smoked out the brakes. I'm not racing. This is dangerous. Not having it. So
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're to the point where you're fading the color off your brake calipers, your fluid is not
Yep.
happy either.
So
and it takes one weird corner, one weird stop for them not to do enough.
yeah, so I mean, the calipers themselves were actually fucked, but it was funny you say that because I've cooked the fluid and the brake pads in the car, actually in Ohio, the same fucking race. Because there was one section where you get on tarmac, because like with stage rally, you're on the gas and brake the entire time, both of them. Like,
Yeah, you're either full throttle or full brake pretty much.
Yeah, if you're not, you're losing.
so there was one section in tarmac where I went to push in the brake, I had nothing. It went all the way to the floor.
Whoops.
And I was like, oh fuck.
no.
And then I pumped it again, and then we had a little bit more brake pressure. So we stopped, we get to the finish, and I think it's actually in one of the videos on YouTube where I was like, fuck, I didn't have any brakes, dude. And I was like, oh, it's the fluid. I never changed the fluid. So
After you boiled them the first time,
So-
it's just already
yep,
pre-boiled
so I
fluid.
bought really good racing brake pads, but never changed the fluid. So the fluid boiled, and I had nothing.
It's your next
Yep.
weakest link. Yeah,
Yep.
those pads work great
Yeah,
until the
exactly.
fluid's
Well-
no longer fluid.
It was like the same thing when I got my bike and started refreshing everything. I was like, we should probably do the brakes. Who knows if they were sintered and heated up proper and everything. And like I go to change the fluid and it looks like Guinness.
It's just black.
I was like, oh, this shit's
Yep.
bad.
Yeah, bad fluid is a
no.
very dangerous thing. Like brakes, when they go bad, you could pretty usually tell.
Oh,
You're like,
you can
they
feel it.
They're hot, they stink, but when the fluid goes, you got
Nothing, yep.
nothing.
Yeah.
So so we DNF from that race, and then borrowed some suspension from a buddy of mine to do the New England Forest Rally in July. We finished that one. We did fine, and then after that is when I started moving out here.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So you got here and you're just like, all right, where can I rally? And you found the Milwaukee region apparently. Is that as simple as it was, or did you meet somebody?
No,
and they
that's
told
pretty
you
much
about
what it was. Is I started looking into it when my car was still broken, but a friend of mine, Dylan, who did a little bit of rallycross in Connecticut, he moved out here with me, and then we did the Road of America one. And then after that, I was like, all right, I need to start fixing my car after I was done with the house and painting the house and all the other bullshit new house things you have to do. And then, just started rallycrossing with all these guys.
So when did you start rallycrossing with these guys? Is it
Last year.
last year? Okay.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
I knew you were relatively new to the area. I didn't know how new it was at this point, but
So it was actually really
Okay.
funny. So when me and I think it was Josh, Maybe it was Dan. So Josh and Dan, Dan was a driver, Josh was coach, or vice versa. Josh driver?
Sure.
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah.
Some
So
way,
both
somehow.
of those did driver and co-driver. So I started talking with one of them, and I think it was Josh, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I drove in Missouri one year, and that was the reason we couldn't do the second run of the cattle guard jump." And I was like, "Okay, hold on," because
You like a cattle guard jump, and then we couldn't do it.
So the
Like,
cattle
what
guard
am I
jump is
missing
the
here?
famous thing for the Show Me Rally and what the fuck is the other race? So there's two races down in Missouri. It's Show Me and then 100
Acre Wood.
Um,
We're currently Googling it, trying
Yes,
to
I'm
find
trying to figure
pictures.
out
Yeah,
what's-
looks like a nice, fun jump.
Yeah, this
As we're
this
looking at
seems like
pictures
something
of
that
it.
would be a famous jump.
yep,
Good
that
old
one.
cattle
So
gate.
I have a picture of my car pretty much in that exact same position.
Doing pretty much the same.
It was at
flying
that
through
jump
the air.
because I have that the XCD, the clutch people.
The same
Yep.
exact signs in the background.
So he was like, "Yeah, we're the reason we couldn't do the second run." I was like, "Hold on, wait, what year was this?" And he was like, "It was 2020." I was like, "No fucking way! I was at that race."
You're like, you're kidding me.
So I
You're like, so you did one run through it and couldn't do a
so
second one.
It was one of those
because...
things, because as I said, most races you do the stages twice throughout the day. So, so I was talking with him. So they crashed basically after the jump. Couple more turns right before finish, they crashed.
Okay.
I pulled up to those two. I was talking to Dan. So Josh was the one who's driving. Dan was co-driver.
Sure.
Yeah, they were like, "Yeah, we crashed, blah, blah, blah." I was like, "I talked to you guys." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I was like 2 cars behind you. I pulled up to you and I talked to you because you were like, "Yeah, Josh is stuck in the driver's seat. The cage crushed him a little bit. He broke his arm. He's okay." I was like, "Okay, well, I'll pull up to finish and, let them guys know that you guys need help and stuff like that." And sure shit, I get home that day after talking to Dan, and I pulled up the video because I recorded everything at that time, and I have a video of me talking to Dan 4 years prior to me ever meeting him.
Oh yeah.
To all of a
That's
sudden
awesome,
realizing
honey.
that you're gonna start racing
Yeah.
with him at the same place. You're
Damn,
just
that's
some
cool.
random guy. and-
Small world.
It really is a
Extremely
small world. It's
small,
crazy.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. So did they recognize
No.
you at all, or did
Nope.
you did recognize them at all, or just like it was just happened to be like, oh, that guy that crashed? You're like, well,
Yeah,
I saw that
it-
guy
it
that
just
crashed. Wait a
happened.
minute.
That guy
Yeah,
was
like
me.
they didn't recognize my car or anything
Damn.
like that, but because I think it was Josh telling the story, he's like, "I don't remember much of this, but this is what happened." And I was like, "I fucking stopped to talk to you guys."
Yeah, I'll say. To be fair, they did go through like a
100%,
traumatic
yeah.
crash, possibly.
Well-
Might have been on their adrenaline high still, so might not remember everything. But no, that's funny
Yeah,
actually.
that's
awesome.
another clip I'll have to
Damn.
try to send you guys. But yeah, I have the YouTube or the GoPro video of me talking to Dan. Like,
Of you pulling up and
That's-
talking to him.
Yeah, that's funny.
That's awesome. That's like the little coincidences like that are just the
yeah,
coolest thing.
that was pretty cool.
Damn. Yeah. So you got connected up here. Apparently, you got pretty
Already
comfortable with everybody. Already
Yep.
knew them. Gotcha. Yeah, I'll say it seems like you're fairly close with the Milwaukee.
Yeah, I
Region
mean,
guys
everybody
anyway.
here seems really cool. I thought it was kind of funny when I first got here and nobody had stage rally cars. Especially as I said, coming from
Oh,
New
yeah.
England, where everybody had stage rally cars.
I said you show up in your car, like you feel like over
A little
prepped
bit,
for the
yeah.
occasion, or
He walks up. What the fuck are all these dumbass shit boxes? Look at that red one over there.
No,
No.
I
Maybe-
have
maybe.
never felt like that, right? Because like I've been that guy. I've been that guy, and it was
Yeah.
as I said, 2016 was my first year starting, where I had this beautiful car, before it was scratched and everything else, and
Yep.
Oh,
I say,
yeah.
I'm sure you're the same as the rest of us. You see somebody beating the nicest car ever, and you're like, hell yeah. You're like, that's
Well,
like,
what was our first race this year? I was up against a
2024
Porsche Dakar. And it's like,
yeah,
fucking
that car was
send
cool.
it.
yeah, with the panda wrap all over it and
Beat
stuff.
him too.
Yeah, see, you don't have to be fast. You have to be faster than the slow guy.
Yep.
Hell yeah. Nice.
Okay. So I guess that brings us into once we joined the Milwaukee region to start rallycrossing at this point.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty much
I'll say because
whole-
I've known that Byron has done it. Was originally it was hoopty cross because in high school.
Well, that's a different thing.
I say in high school I had heard about hoopty cross and I was like, oh okay, it's up in Byron. It's just beater cars doing whatever. Well, yeah, it turns out Byron also does what's called rallycross, and I've known about autocross, rallycross. Just I've known of the events or what they are. I'd never saw one or did anything.
I've
But
never gotten too close to any
it
of
was
them.
more of I just felt like Brian needed to have some excuse to use this car that is good for
Well,
nothing else. So
It was. He had the car.
I sure did.
Couldn't title it, so it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck do I do with it now? It's either I'm
Yeah.
gonna demo derby it or I got to find something else.
yeah.
And now we found rally, and now
Yeah, I don't remember how I had
we're a
found.
rally
I don't
team.
remember how I had found the Milwaukee region. That was just like out of the blue. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
they do rally in Byron.
And you threw it to our group chat. You're like, hey, I think I'm going to go to this. And I'm like, I'd like to, but I'm busy that weekend. And then you came, you went, and it sounded awesome. And
Yeah.
you met cool people like Tony,
Yeah,
who've been doing it for a while. It's
event
like,
number
well,
one
damn.
where Evan and his Fiesta kicked the shit out of me, and I get last place, and I come back. I'm like, this is the most
Yep.
fun I've ever had. Like, even getting last, it's like
Yeah.
you come back shaky, and you're just like, this was awesome.
I'll say at least with me, like having raced dirt bikes, I'm like, oh, like, I know like what it feels like that to have that competition, like have the adrenaline going and shit. So I'm pretty good with that. But like, yeah, for your like this is your first time ever doing it, I'm like, that's awesome.
Yeah, for
I
me, it was
forgot
like-
how much I missed it. Because even now, I'm like, as much as I love Rallycross, I'm like, I have the biggest itch to buy a dirt bike again and go racing again. So I'm like,
go back to
oh,
sailing through the air.
yeah. Oh, that is my biggest thing is actually hucking it on a proper motocross track, which I could take my dirt bike to Byron and also do.
Yeah,
but,
the
you
same
know,
track.
But
And
yeah,
then
so
not,
I'm like-
not landing on the guys in front of you.
probably should.
Preferably anyway.
or in our case, hitting the ceiling.
oh,
yeah,
at
at
indoor, the indoor
Megacross,
track.
yeah.
Mega
track.
tracks.
Yeah.
Nobody's hit it yet. People,
Well, they've been close.
They've come close.
Yeah.
people have been too close to that. But
Oh,
yeah, having an indoor dirt bike track is
my
really cool
gosh.
until you're on a 450 and you send
Oh,
the
it's-
shit out
Can
of
you
nuts.
pull up a picture for him?
Yeah, I can.
It'll be a second, I'm sure. But
Yeah, but it's cool.
Yeah.
They
old,
do,
old giant industrial building
Yeah.
that the local promoters, they have like 4 events. They do a fairground race. They have a actual like site out in the woods that they do woods racing and has an MX track on. They managed to buy an industrial building and turn it into a dirt bike track. Yeah, the guy who runs this page has a fucking
Okay.
flip phone, Brian.
Yeah,
so
it's
all these pictures are going to be bad.
Okay, well, it's a TikTok video.
Yeah,
so
here's a
it's-
TikTok video. This
You
is
can
better.
see
at least.
generally
Oh,
speaking what
wow.
we're talking about.
That's
It's
awesome.
cool as hell.
Do you want to mute it so we don't get copyright?
Yeah, it's a whole indoor track worth of stuff.
Yeah. We've done pit bike nights there. I used to actually race my full size bike here, but they've also changed the layout. When I first started there, it was like 4 turns. It was so small because they had to clear out all the junk and get and like they were actively bringing semis in to haul more dirt in to extend the track. And it has grown so much since
It's
since
a
the
great
first year.
time. I think, what was it, 3 years ago now we did?
It's been a lot.
It's
of
been a
years.
while.
It opened about 5 years ago, I think.
Pit
I
bike-
was still
That's
racing,
it?
so yeah, 2017, 2018, yeah.
Pit bike
That's more than
night-
5 years.
Well,
2017 is
Fair,
more
I
than
guess
5 years
2019
at
is
this point.
fucking 5 years.
Pit
yeah.
bike night was
Yeah.
awesome, except now like you're either in classes, like they have 2 different groups that go out. So
They kinda
you
organized
pay-
it.
Well, yeah, but you pay like what is it? It's $50 to get in. Then you have
You have to buy
like,
your AMA license.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
every
every other person besides us has because they
Yeah.
race dirt
Yeah.
bikes all year round.
all year
so-
round. But
Yeah.
when you only go to one twice a year, if that, and then you're split into 2 groups, so you're paying $100 to share a bike that you only get to go out every other group.
Yeah, it's not meant for us. It's meant for the
not
people
meant
who
for
have
us.
fucking 3 full size bikes and a
Yeah.
pit bike.
Yeah, they
It's-
race their 450 every weekend and
Yeah.
then just play around on the other bike.
Exactly.
Yeah, not quite the same.
But yeah,
It's cool though.
so this is what we do other than rally.
So how do we get to this?
I've talked about
We're
dirt bikes, I
rambling.
guess,
Oh,
but
okay, talk about flying through the air.
But yeah, so yeah, I missed the racing, and that's so Brian was like, hey, I'm gonna do Rallycross. I'm like, I'd like to go. I was busy that weekend. So then I think the next one Marcus came to.
We went to the first one together.
You did
the first
too?
one
Okay.
Marcus and I both went to.
Okay.
I got last, Marcus got third and didn't get a trophy, and he's still
Still
mad about
pissed.
it.
LOL.
And then the second one, I think Michael and I went to, and it got rained out.
Yes,
I remember
yes,
that.
that
You were
was-
there too,
yes.
Marcus. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was practice day before.
We did the whole practice day, and then it rained like hell overnight.
Yep. Because I was going to go to that one, but as I was leaving my driveway, you called me and you're like, "Hey, no." I'm like, "All right."
Yeah, you're like,
Got rained out.
seriously?
I'm like, damn. I'm like, literally didn't even leave my neighborhood. I'm like, all right, I'll just back up into the
That was
driveway.
so slippery. though.
But yeah.
I think. Oh, so
It sounded bad.
Brian had a hell of a time just getting out of the paddock area.
getting the truck and
Yep.
trailer out of
Yeah.
there. Yeah. It's amazing how bad an empty trailer drags
Yeah.
you down when it's wet.
Yep.
Which I guess will segue us right into this last weekend, where we went up to Darlington, Wisconsin, to the Freeze Your Curds Off rally.
Woot woot. How was the cheese?
Oh, it was so
Haven't tried it.
good.
Haven't
You bastard.
It's in the bag in the fridge.
All right, hold on.
get it.
I'll be right
Yeah.
back.
Are you gonna
Somebody
go
go
bag
get
full?
it.
Oh my god, he's. I got the bag, I put it in my cooler, and then drove home and completely threw it in the fridge and forgot about it until today. They're like, "Oh, was there cheese?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"I guess there was. It's still in my fridge." Yeah, what is the brand name on that cheese?
Hanson's Dairy White
Yeah, it was
Cheddar
so
Cheese
good.
Curds.
Yes. So the other cheese sponsor is Gibbsville Cheese, who give yellow cheese curds. These are white, so they're completely different.
Nope. They
What
were at the first
are you?
one.
Are you gonna make it over the
He's
whole?
having
I don't
an
know,
aneurysm.
man.
He's having a stroke. Anyway, so I guess
This was a 3-region event. It was Iowa, Wisconsin, and
I didn't quite know enough about this going into it as I guess I should have. I didn't realize this was the regional contest between Central Division, Iowa, and Milwaukee and them.
that makes sense.
This is our bragging rights event, apparently.
So,
okay.
Were
did you
you
get your ass kicked?
We'll talk about
all
it.
right, fair.
Were you aware of any of this stuff going into it, or were you kind of like us, where we just kind of showed up, or like me,
Yeah,
because no one else came?
I
with
really didn't know,
sorry.
since I started showing up to this region, I've been hanging out with Adam and his giant crew of people.
Yeah, the Shane Rally team is
exactly.
half the event.
They've always talked about this race and, how much fun it is. It's done in the field. It's super fast. It's, all this and that. So I had no idea coming into it.
Okay, so you were just as unprepared as I was, basically. Which didn't help that I showed up. Well, I was getting ready to go to bed the night before, and for some reason I thought the check-in was at 7:30, not at 9. Oof. So I'm just getting ready to go to bed. I'm like, let me double check it. I'm like, oh, it's at 9. So I bumped my alarm forward a little bit too far.
Oof.
So I showed up about, half an hour before we started, which sounds like a lot of time if you don't do a rally and realize you have to unload the car, get teched in, get registered.
Yeah. Track
So,
walk, which is a fucking...
when the course is,
3 times as long, apparently.
One of the other guys we rally with, Peter with the Camry, the super
Yep,
nice super clean
yeah.
Camry, he had come up to me. He's like, oh, I just finished
my
walking. It took me
God.
half an hour.
Holy shit.
Holy fuck.
So I'm just like, oh, I'm not going to have time to walk it. I'm like, well, I'll figure it out on the parade lap. Spoiler
Hopefully.
alert,
Yep.
no parade lap.
Oh, god damn.
So we roll into it pretty much unprepared. I'm later than I would have liked to be,
Fuck it, we ball.
So it's like
Yeah.
where we set up in our staging grid, and it's like me, Ben, Peter, and then some of the guys from Iowa region. So 3 people from Milwaukee region, 2 from the Iowa region, basically competing for this. And I'm like talking to Ben, like he didn't get to walk it because he's had kind of a bum knee that day, and I'm just sitting around. I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna figure it out on the track because there's no time to walk it. We got to get going. So literally the runs just came down to bravery on lap 1, I guess.
Fuck it.
Oh, I didn't bring my GoPro in here. Give me just one
Do you
split
not
second.
have the...
I already have it on the card. I just need to bring it in here. I forgot to grab my SD
okay.
card. Give me 1 second. You guys keep yapping.
Gotcha.
I know, they're
Cheese curds
so
are fucking
good.
tips.
They are pretty fucking
They're
delicious.
so fucking good.
I keep trying to find excuses to eat the Gibbsville ones because I still have the 2 packages from
Are
the
they
last
still
event.
good?
Oh, yeah. No, you keep them in the fridge. They're fine.
Like
Well,
you
yeah.
and that frozen.
The one I haven't even opened.
45-pound
I've gotten.
block
I'm
of
maybe
cheese.
halfway through the first
String
package,
cheese.
but I need to have we need to have a garage beers night, and I need to have a party platter of meats and
cheeses.
crackers, and the cheese is just going to be Gibbsville cheese, just so I get rid of it. I have
all
so
of the
much
cheeses.
We can have that Well, wait, are you wanting to have it in your garage or
Probably.
just a garage?
Well, preferably mine because I'll probably burn.
Let me
my
guess, you
brush
have more
pile
stuff
as
to
well.
burn. Yeah.
Okay.
And the burn ban's probably up finally.
Yeah, it's rained.
I mean, it rained for
days.
3 days.
Yeah.
So we'll just pull up my lap one here of just me rolling into this unprepared, haven't seen the course.
Holy fucking course.
this course was so much fun. It was funny, like, listening to you guys talk about the parade laps and stuff. Like, New England region, we never had parade laps. We never had practice days. It was always on a Sunday at, probably 5 to 6 different locations. And you showed up and you started racing. Because the way they explained it, because as I said, like 3/4 of the guys did stage rally. Rallycross is the practice days. It's like that's how we learn the kind of more finer car control and stuff. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing with stage rally is like, yeah, sometimes like a lot of the rallies, you'll do the same stages every single year. They'll keep bringing them back up. So it's like some corners you can kind of remember, but, a lot of the stages, you're on there for 8 minutes at speed. So it's like, you don't memorize every single
dip.
Oh, yeah, same with
twist.
like woods racing was almost the same. Because it's like, I'm out there for 30, 45 minutes because it's 3 laps, but you don't know how long the laps are. It's like, have fun. Like, figure it out. If you remember it, great. If not, that's up to you. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so especially when it comes to Rallycross, here I noticed, because again, none of the cars do stage rally, and they're not set up for stage rally. But New England region, we would have a grid, like we did on a Sunday. One car at a time would go, and then after every single car was done, they would go through and
they would
redo
go change
the
it.
whole course.
Basically each lap is individual.
Because yeah, every single lap, because all the cars, because there were stage cars that were, part of the modified front or modified rear, because you would have obviously a lot of Subarus, but you would also have a lot of like Volkswagens, like a lot of Golfs and stuff that were front wheel drives. You would have a lot of rear wheel drive stage cars. So no matter how the car classes were set up, they were still stage rally cars with very aggressive tires. So after every single lap, they would redo the course.
That's a lot of tearing up on a track in one fucking go.
It is. It would destroy the course. So they would have to, try to make it safe for everybody. But, it was still, I always kind of laugh. I don't know if it's, me being pompous or whatever, but, it's like the way some of the safety stewards were set up the course here. They're like, oh, it's slightly unsafe.
What do you mean
I'm
slightly?
Like, are you serious? Like, this is not even close.
Well,
to
that's
what
the
we would be
SCCA. The
set
rules,
up.
if you pick up 2 tires, you have to stop or something. That's why the SCCA has been around for 75 years or whatever, or 78 years.
We're a little bit
or
more
something.
on the safe side for the newbies like me.
Is it has to
If
be
we were
super
all
safe.
prepped with cages, I think they'd be a little more lenient.
Oh, yeah, I don't think they'd give a fuck. They're like, well, you're going to wreck your car, but you're probably going to live. You'll be fine. Send it.
Yeah. Well, hey, once we all put cages in our cars and we go out to Ohio and Missouri and stuff, we'll tag along with
We'll talk
Tony
about
and-
that later.
I can't put a cage in my car. It'll be too heavy to go quick.
Fair. Yeah, my 100 horsepower is going to hate it.
Fuck it, we'll put a turbo in
It's
it.
gonna run out real quick.
Oh.
All right. Speaking of running out of
There you
skill,
go.
let's try this lap again.
All
Let's see if it actually goes through this time.
All right.
So far, not frozen.
Yeah, hard to see the cones.
Yeah. So the whole time, like, I'm using all of the rally knowledge I've learned of, like, look really far ahead.
Yes.
Yeah. This is one of the few times it, like, really clicks of, like, I have to be staring way out to find these cones.
Were the track conditions at first?
Why did my laptop freeze? What?
jeez.
It's not even OBS. My laptop isn't playing.
It just can't get the
I'm
video
having.
lit.
This is just my. It's awesome.
Oh.
Oh,
think-
boy. Big error.
Oh boy. Okay.
Oh.
Well, great. This is. Man, it's just. All right.
That,
I guess we're skipping.
that might have to be.
I
an
guess I'm just
overlay
skipping
thing
videos
later.
for this episode because it is.
We call this one technical difficulties.
That's all it is. But all right. So no videos of the course.
Especially looking at your video, though, you had no tire marks, so you had.
Yeah.
a look
The
for
first
every
run out,
single
you could even see
But, like,
the ground you were trying to drive on.
Was it really bumpy at first? Like, could you feel your suspension moving a lot, or was it kind of smooth?
So it had rained about 2 inches during the week. So you really couldn't feel it quite the same
That's
as you would
fair.
expect. Like it was.
I mean, I guess it's not like they plowed the field or anything. They just harvested and
Yeah, they had like
pulled
left
a
all the
roller
husks.
behind them.
They basically like rolled the course once, and that was just enough to knock the stalks down. So
Fair.
So since we have no video, I guess we'll just keep talking about it. But,
Okay.
So
Damn.
this was by far the longest lap times I've ever done on pretty much
Yeah, it was
anything.
3.5 minutes.
It was right about 3 minutes.
Okay.
And we're kind of used to
60 seconds.
40 to 60s ish.
Seconds. Yeah.
Yeah,
For Byron,
seconds.
Yeah, the noticeable difference going from a short course to a long course, at least for me, was like on a short course, you mess up once, you're
And
putting
you're
on
done.
3 seconds and
Yeah.
you're behind.
Yeah.
There's no like room for error.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These are a
this
little bit
is
more
like-
forgiving.
On a 3-minute course, like everyone's gonna have an error. Just it's how
Yeah.
you recover from it matters a
Yeah.
lot more.
Correct.
And you can make up errors with bravery.
Yep.
And that, sometimes
May or may not get you into trouble.
Sometimes that might get you into a little bit of trouble, but for the most part, I mean, it's a pretty usable track. Like you can actually make up time and actually, keep
Yeah.
driving instead of.
It's not so much luck, it's more skill based, because if you do fuck up, if you can consistently do good, you can make it up,
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
That's at least what I had taken from it.
which is fair. I mean, that makes sense.
So our first laps, it's like there's corn stalks on everything. You're sliding on top of it, kind of just hoping to have traction. Mm-hmm. And like, apparently the whole SD card's aired. Sweet. All right, whatever.
Yeah, I was wondering if it's because you were trying to view it on your SD card.
I'm sure it was because I was unprepared, but that's fine. I've got them saved on my desktop. I'll get them later. We could just show the videos next week or whatever. But
Fair. Well,
so yeah, like going into my first run, stock front wheel drive is the 5 of us or whatever, and I just sent the absolute.
yeah, I'll say,
shit
hold
out
on.
of
Let's
it.
break down classes because how many people were all throughout everything? Like,
Yeah,
how many people
people
showed up?
total were there for the event?
That I don't know. Tony, do you have an idea of how many people would have been there?
Was it not on RX timing or whatever?
I think probably
Yeah,
around
That's a
30.
decent. That's like a normal SCCA turnout.
Yeah, it was a good turnout. It
Okay.
wasn't anything like it wasn't a ton of people, but it wasn't nobody
dead.
either.
Yeah,
Go to the raw results, see how many people it goes
Yeah.
down to. 35 is what I'm seeing.
that's not bad.
And a couple of those were co-driver car, 2-driver cars and
yeah.
stuff. So 35 is about standard for what we end up, for what we're doing.
That's so crazy to
how
me too.
I would.
So I don't know, a while ago, Joe messaged me and it's like, hey, do you want to be a safety steward? I was like, sure, why not? I'll help out, whatever. And then you have to fill out like a resume basically. And, how many races have you done? Blah, blah, blah. And I was looking through the previous things from New England region. We would have an average of like
Oh,
70.
wow.
Okay, so going down to 30 people is
Yeah.
a noticeable
It's like
drop
dead
off.
to you.
It's kind of weird because we would start at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning and go till 4 o'clock, and we would do an average of 8 runs.
Yeah, and especially with longer lap times, like 8
Yeah.
runs doesn't sound like a crazy ton at a minute lap times, but at 10 to 20 minute lap times, that's a lot.
Wow.
Yeah,
Whereas we're clocking in at like 10:30 and getting registered, and then we're on course from like 11 to 4.
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Yeah, that's
like we were
insane.
when we were talking at the drivers meeting in the morning. We were kind of trying to get 10 runs in throughout the day. Yeah, we ended up at 6.
yeah.
We kind of
fair.
overshot the estimates
Yeah.
a little bit, just the way the day went, which is going to happen. But
Yeah.
so yeah,
Yeah.
it was kind of the track was very interesting. I've never raced on corn stalks before, so it was like there was very loose surface, and then you'd catch the dirt and have a ton of grip because it's wet dirt. But then you're in wet dirt, so then it bogs into the wet dirt. It was a very strange, like tiered amount of grip. And of course, everybody kicks all these corn stalks to the outside. So if you drive out of the rut a little bit,
You're fucked.
you're dragging off into the weeds.
Yeah.
So it was a very plant your tires to the right spot and be very careful when you do it, because if you don't do it just right, you're gonna get drug off into nowhere. But yeah, long lap times, you have enough chance to screw it up and then come back with some bravery and get through the last 2 corners with enough speed to kind of offset that.
Yeah. Can you put the card back in your
Yeah.
GoPro and plug the GoPro into the computer?
There's a lot of stuff I could do, but
Eh.
Fair.
It's
The fact
still gonna
it's-
throw a shit.
the
fit
fact
about reading.
it doesn't want to work means I have all the files on my desktop, so
Okay.
I just ran
So-
out of time to get that prepped.
Kind of quick side question: what did you plant in the field next to the shop this year? Soybeans or corn?
Like this last year,
No, this current year that you just harvested. That was beans this year, wasn't it?
Yes.
Do you got a roller?
We're not going to rally our field. I mean, we could.
It's just hey, it's helping till the soil up.
Flat ground doesn't do anything for us here because
Still,
going into this event here,
Yeah, it was kind of on a hill.
there was so much elevation
Really?
that even a video barely does it justice.
Yeah. I
mean,
could
you
kind of
you
tell.
can see there's a little bit of a hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It's enough to change the weight of the car. It
Yeah,
is
that's
going to
true.
lean one
That's
way,
true.
so every corner is going to feel different.
Yeah, no, it was several hundred feet of elevation change from the highest spot to the lowest spot. I would say anyway.
I
It
was
seemed.
just saying we could get some practice in.
What do you need practice for? To show up to the events?
No,
Yeah,
'cause
God,
I'm
yeah.
bad.
Well, yeah. Literally just show up to the events.
Or show up to the practices.
You
when
showed
they
up to
have
2,
them,
brother.
Look,
Well,
I got
one
a
didn't
whole other
happen.
car to build at this point.
Well, then you don't need practice till you build the other car.
Can have a little fun, stay fresh the skills up.
Oh, whatever.
The skills that I kind of don't have.
How about you go test your skills at the indoor dirt bike track?
And you get
That'll be
hurt
way more adrenaline and
Yeah, so I can
scary.
snap
There you
both
go.
my wrists
and break my
Well,
bike.
and break
Yeah, let him
Brian's
take
bit
your
bike.
bike.
I'll kill myself.
Yeah,
I
on
actually
that
have the
thing.
money to buy one. Fuck you. I've been looking at
Don't.
110s, dude. Come on.
Don't be doing it.
Anyway.
Anyway, but yeah, the course conditions rapidly changed. A lot of elevation. Like this was a course where I am maxing out second gear.
Perfect.
Dang.
Up on the limiter. But
Yeah.
enough where I don't want to shift to third. So I'm
Yeah.
running, 50 miles an hour ish.
Cool.
Like it was very, very different compared to Byron, where I'm like bogging second, trying to get around the corners and stuff.
Fair, yeah.
Do you have any? How was the course for you guys? Because we broke it up in the morning with all the stock fronts and stuff. How was it by the time you guys got to it in mod all and etc.?
So I had an interesting time because every other time I've done Rallycross, I start in first, obviously, shift in second, and then never ever touch it because especially with my car, the STI 6-speed, the second gear is perfect for Rallycross.
Yeah,
This one, I'm not going to say how fast I got up
but
Due to
because I
insurance.
fucking bleep it out. I don't even give a shit. So one of Adam's like cousins or whatever, Calvin, he's a kid. He rode with me most of the time, and on Saturday he was looking at my speedometer because I managed to peak down on that far
the
like
big
back
downhill
section,
stretch.
and I was like, I think I hit like 55. And then the next lap, he looked down. He's like, yeah, you hit 70.
Yeah, that's noticed.
Jesus Christ.
yeah, okay, wow.
Dude was booking.
I was not spinning the tires or anything. So because of my restrictor and my turbo, it makes the car a lot slower. So I was pinned out at second gear most of the course, where I had no power left. I had nothing. So there was a couple times I was shifting in third, just
Trying to keep a
get
little bit more
by.
speed going. Yeah.
Yep. So on that back stretch, Calvin looked down and he's like, "Yeah, you hit 70." It's
You're like,
"Oh,
that's
fuck."
kilometers. Don't even look at that. It's don't.
Yeah, don't worry
definitely
about
never
that
go
little guy.
quick. But
So they only do it at this event,
What?
like at this location during the freezer curds, though?
yeah, I believe
Okay.
it's just a once a year, at like kind of a neutral site game, I guess.
Fair. Okay, yeah. I was curious. I'm like, if they do this more, like I'd like to be able to go to make sure I can go back to a course this long, I guess.
They
But-
already have the date set out for next year, so
Yeah, I
it's
did see
happening
that.
again.
Fair. Yes, but it's more of like if I can go earlier than that, I'd like to at least test it.
Don't you need to fix your garbage first?
Yeah, well, I was gonna get that. I'm laid off
get
next week, so I'm gonna hopefully
Oh,
get to that. So,
perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, by the time the course was broken up, like, was it a good amount of grip for you guys, or was it still kind of sloppy and loose?
I felt like it was pretty good. I still run gravel tires because especially since I put new suspensions on, my wheels kind of fit weird anyway because I put a lot of camber on.
But for rally,
Stupid.
a lot of camber makes a big
But-
difference.
Yeah. Any little bit of advantage
little
you can
bit,
get,
yeah.
you might as well take.
Oh yeah.
But I know like Aaron and Ben, like Ben beat me on Saturday and stuff like that because I didn't have the tires
Okay.
that he does. And I'm not blaming on tires. Like
He was
Ben's a good driver,
very fast.
but
all day.
I have a restrictor, which my second gear was not working, and then with the tires and stuff like that. But tires on that course definitely make.
I could completely believe that. I mean, it was such a chunky mud.
Yeah, I'll say so. Mud tires was the move, not gravel.
You want to dig through it, not float on top of it, kind of thing.
So
Which,
my
again,
all-terrains might have been a really game changer.
They probably would have been
It's
very.
all about those little, advantages that you can find in other places. Hey, it's a little bit, different track,
soil,
whatever the hell you want to call it. So, you can only, I'm not going to go and, oh shit, we're going here, so I need to put these sets. I'm not going to go
if you
buy
were
a
a
whole
professional.
If I was a professional and had sponsors, I'd be like, hey, yo, tire shop dudes, hook me up. But that ain't ever going to
be winning
happen.
stuff then. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I need a lot more horsepower.
You need to show up. We discussed this earlier.
Yeah, showing up is the best way to win. Because not showing up, you're gonna
We'll get
lose.
to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. But yeah, so Saturday was a very good day of racing. Even though we only got 6 runs, it's the most fun rally I've ever been through. Just maintaining speed, feeling the car move at 20, 30 miles an hour is interesting. Feeling the car kind of come around you at 50, you're like, oh, this is bad. I got to actually correct and stay in it. Otherwise I'm going to slide off the course here.
Yeah, you were definitely hauling ass because I was out there working, when you guys were running, and obviously Ben Deshane is a really good friend of mine and stuff like that. And then watching you two compete throughout the year, when I first saw you go by, it was like, oh, you're
on the first lap and stuff.
And then when I watched Ben go through, it's like, Benny, you might need to put your foot down a little bit there.
Catch up just a little bit more.
In Brian's brother's case, quit driving like a Sally.
That's pretty much what I was going with. Is I don't know the course at all, so I'm just going to drive it as hard as I can and hope it works out. And honestly, for the most part, it did because day one, I ended up getting the win with a total of a 24-second margin on Ben Deshane.
Oh, God, Lord.
Yeah, you were moving.
24 seconds over 6 runs?
Over a total of 1,057
Yeah,
seconds.
I was going to say, that's not a lot. That's a couple seconds to run.
Yeah.
Which, looking at the times, the story here is way more important than just what the numbers say. So my first run's a 185.
Okay.
Ben's first run's a 194.
Yep.
But if you compare run 1 to 2, I ran a 185. He runs a 185.
Oh.
I run a 179. He runs
Jesus
a 179.
Christ. It is.
It is.
If he would have taken a parade lap, you would have been fucked.
Yeah, if he would have gotten a course walk and I didn't.
Yeah.
This exact
literally.
stagger. We ran the same times, 3 runs back to back.
God damn. Yeah.
Yeah, you had him beat by 3 seconds. Other than that first lap,
The first lap was a bunch of bravery, and after that, it was basically tied up. But I had gotten that first lap on him, so it was just enough to start a gap and keep it there.
So what else were you racing against?
2006 Honda Civic and a 2012 Mazda 3 i Touring.
Nice.
And then Peter in the Toyota, obviously.
Yep.
The car's way too clean to be rally racing, but I'm glad he's.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad he's there because I think so cool.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But day
what
one
stock
was
all-wheel drive. I just want to
a
see
lot
how many
of
people I missed.
stock all 2 people. One was a Subaru SVX, which is if you don't know, is such a cool car.
What was the mystery machine? We had talked about this. We talked about the entry in last.
I think
last
right,
podcast?
that's right.
We
Yeah,
didn't know what it was though.
I believe it's just 2 drivers in the SVX. Was all it was.
Okay.
He might have just wrote that because he didn't know what he was driving at that point.
Oh yeah, 33 and 133. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think they're just both in the SVX.
Okay.
So it wasn't anything like.
I didn't know if there was something that was liveried up like the actual mystery machine. Yeah,
that'd be
this is
cool.
the car. Okay.
Yeah, Subaru
Fair enough.
SVX.
Gold rims,
Damn.
like a gentleman.
Dude, he was.
This thing moved
moving.
the flat 6 in a relatively light car. He was hauling.
Yeah.
And then we're in the paddock hanging out, or in the starting grid, and I'm staggered 1 car to the left behind him.
Mm-hmm.
I look at it, I'm like, oh, that car's on fire.
All the husks all over.
Sitting there, I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh, there's a fire under the car. I'm like, oh, they don't know there's a fire under the car, so I kind of get out and I'm hollering. I'm like, move your car right now. He's like, kind of looking around. I'm like, you right there. I'm struggling for words at this point. I'm like, your car is on fire. The ground underneath it is burning right now. He kind of looks at it, he's like, oh fuck, and pulls it out.
This is why I keep a fire extinguisher in my car.
From running 2 driver cars back and back and back. The cat's getting hot, the corn getting hot.
That's kind of the one thing I want to start working on a little bit is some little safety items.
Oh, like fire safety?
Like it wouldn't be a bad idea to put a fire extinguisher in yours.
Mine's fine.
I have one rolling around every event.
It's always good to have.
More
I know
so,
you have
more
one.
so because I know who works on my car.
Well, yeah,
so,
but like
me.
I have always brought my IFAC kit to the races. Thank God I've never had to use it. I don't think I will ever have to, but
You could bring first aid just because.
yeah.
Over prepared, and then you just don't show up to all of them.
Yeah. We'll get to that.
But yeah, no, there was a bunch of cool cars. It was a really good day of racing.
Good.
But
I'm guessing the crowd feel vibe was the same. Everybody's just, fuck yeah.
oh, everybody's there to have a great time.
Oh, see, that's again, that I feel is the greatest part of this sport and the group that we are in is everybody's like, dude, fuck, send it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at the end
Everybody's a nice guy.
of the day, we do awards. Of course, stock front, the trophies weren't ready yet, so we didn't get anything to take home with us. But
Rip.
there was a bunch of door prizes.
Are the trophies 3D printed rims?
They
again?
are not. They are completely different.
Are they like actual trophies?
I guess you'll just have to
Oh,
wait. And
yeah, I'll
see.
say, yeah, you're going to get one.
I'm gonna get one. You have to wait and see. But
yeah.
Damn, what do you think? Dude, just ship it to you?
I guess I don't know. I still need to message him and figure out where it is and what do I need to do. But
Cool.
yeah, there was door prizes. Just off of the overall like raw times. Is 1 through 35 fastest of the day. They just
Gotcha.
random number and just raffle off some stuff.
Okay,
I
cool.
didn't get anything. What did you end up getting, Tony? I thought you got a door prize.
Yeah, I got like a hat and a couple of the cards. And
That's right,
stuff
yeah.
like that.
Hey, free stuff is free stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
So then, yeah, I had a reservation at the hotel in town. I think you guys camped out there. Did you stay at the track?
Yep.
Or in the field, I guess?
Yeah,
How was
in
that?
the field, yeah. It wasn't too bad. Like the weather wasn't. I think it hit 40.
That's not
Oh,
horrible.
still toasty.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Like Ben slept in his car, Rochelle slept in her car, I slept in my trailer, and I had a really good sleeping bag. So
Really
it was
wasn't too
perfect.
bad. Yeah,
No.
sleeping at the hotel was nice. I don't love sleeping outside.
How far away was the hotel?
Like 10 minutes.
Oh, that's
I
not
ain't
bad.
bad.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
bad.
yeah. It
What
wasn't
kind of
bad at all.
hotel?
That's a good question.
Like Best Western
I don't know.
motel?
It was
It's
the
a whatever the fuck
Inn.
was there.
Oh,
Whatever
okay.
that is. Yeah. Probably was something at some point. I don't know.
Uh,
I wasn't too concerned.
nice hotel?
But yeah, it was
think
pretty
it was
nice.
okay.
By the time I got there, I wasn't really too concerned
Well,
about how nice
yeah,
it was because
but-
I'm whooped.
There's a difference between a Red Roof Inn and like a Best Western.
You just stayed at one Red Roof Inn that was really bad.
Look,
That's
man,
all.
there was prostitute
I've stayed at
buzz.
2 of them and they've been fine.
No, they're always bad.
No, they're really not.
They're horrible.
Did we stay on one on the way back from North Carolina?
I
think
can't
I don't
so.
remember. I don't think it was that. I don't know. Whatever that was rough.
That was No,
one-
that was like not even that was like motel almost
Motel
because it
6
was
or-
like
I don't
fucking because it was 2 stories with all the
Yeah,
doors
doors
facing
on
out
the
the one way.
outside with
Yeah.
the balcony.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was also on like the side of a mountain, so it was kind of weird. But
It was a weird. Yeah, but yeah, no. Sleep at the hotel was nice. Other than the like shower didn't get hot. It was just like slightly warm, and I'm like, I'm dusty and dirty. Give me some hot water, please. And it just wasn't enough.
Is there a hot tub? I would have just took a dip in there.
There was, but I was not gonna go by myself down and sit in the hot tub at the hotel pool. That just seems like a problem waiting to happen. I can't imagine that'd be good.
you'd have a story.
I would have something. There's still plenty of story left. We're not done yet.
Fair enough.
So then I wake up Sunday morning, and I look outside. I'm like, it looks awfully wet out there.
Oh, it rained?
Yeah.
Oof.
So we knew it was gonna rain. So I'd bought like some rain gear expecting this.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
Was Sunday rain or shine?
Yes.
Okay. Was not sure if they would be like they called Byron, but you know.
Nope. This was like, I'm like, it's raining. I check my email, nothing. I'm like, well, I guess I'm going over there then. Of course, my
enough.
trailer and car are still over there because I didn't call them to the hotel for no
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
So what did you drive to the hotel?
My
The
truck.
Fit?
My truck.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna drive the Fit, but I'm like, man, it'd be a bad time to get caught on my.
It was Wisconsin. I get arrested out of state for driving a
Unregistered.
suspicious car. Yeah.
very highly identifiable.
Yeah,
car.
I think the Repsol kind of would have got you there. Like,
It'd be a
what
little-
the fuck is that in my rear view?
They'd be pretty aware of what that is.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, so I'm like, all right. Finally braved up enough to go out there, and I roll in at, I don't know, 8 o'clock or whatever, and it's fucking pouring. I mean, it's
Like straight up downpour.
it's a pretty good rain. I mean, from talking to the owner, he said between like 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. he had gotten over an inch of rain already.
Holy shit.
Oof.
Yeah. So we kind of did the, morning briefing, whatever. I come in, hook up the trailer, check out the car, whatever. Spoiler alert, somebody apparently graffitied my car overnight. I don't know what happened here, but I mean, I know some people stayed at the track, but I can't pin it on anybody yet.
I mean, that looks pretty good.
It looks very professional, It's definitely not just painter's tape on the side of my car,
No.
Painter's tape that'll probably rip the paint off.
It was wet enough; it wasn't sticking. To anything.
That's fair. That's fair.
But yeah, I got out and kind of look at it. Like I didn't notice it at first, and Ben comes up. He's like, "I think somebody graffitied your car." And I kind of look at it. I'm like, "Oh fuck,
You son of a bitch!"
I completely missed that."
Hey, at least it was on the driver's side.
Well,
and that was my first side that I did.
well,
See, it
or was
wasn't
it on
just
both?
on the driver's side.
Oh.
No.
Do you care to explain what happened to the windshield?
Oh.
Yeah, so obviously we camped out there that night and then had a couple of drinks. And then
As one
Vinny was
does.
like, we have to do something. I was like, fuck it, I got to take
Oh,
let's
yeah.
go. So nice giant penis.
Hell
on the
yeah.
windshield.
Big old donger.
The whole windshield.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
fuck.
then we went to the side where it said penis along the side, and that was 100% all
Oh,
beat. I had to
100%. Can't blame anybody for that.
Yeah. So I did that, and then in Benny's defense, he was like, "Is this gonna fuck up their wrap?"
Oh,
And I was looking at it, and I was like, "I'm pretty sure that's in fucking sharp."
the words on the
So-
side or
Oh
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is acrylic paint. Marcus hand painted that painstakingly.
I tried. Somebody's making me laugh while I was doing it. The passenger side's a lot better than the driver because I took my time.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was like, "No, I think it's fine. It's just painter's tape. It'll be all right." And then we did the smiley face on the back window.
I don't know if I ever peeled that. It might still be on the car, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I took the dick off your windshield once you pulled.
Yeah,
up the
I started pulling up to the grid and it's like pouring rain. I'm like, well, I'm already moving. I can't stop because I'll get stuck. So I flip the wipers on. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, that's kind of in the way of the wipers.
Oh yeah.
So it's like,
oh yeah.
smeared like
Yeah.
half of it off. And I'm like, it'll be fine.
Damn. I'll say, do you want to
Yeah, I peeled the rest of that off.
I noticed
Brian,
it was
you wanna, like,
gone.
put on the other pictures of the are these things we're going to talk about?
Yeah, we could just rip through these real quick.
I'll say, yeah. So just something for us to look at.
Yeah,
anyway,
like here
since
is,
we can't do the videos, but yeah.
I got here
Before.
golden morning light,
Yeah, this is
Saturday morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything just looked really nice.
With your weird ass windshield that goes all the way up.
My hood that goes straight up and down.
Yeah.
Greatest thing ever. Why doesn't every hood do
Yeah,
that?
you got
I
it.
just, that was just while I was teching and I'm like, oh, the car looks kind of nice right now. Took a picture, but
Sick.
yeah. And then, so we're going to race on Sunday. Everybody was dead set on it.
Mm-hmm.
But first we had to get all the cars up the hill because we're parked at the bottom of the hill.
So
So-
it was just a clusterfuck, just getting people to the grid.
Yeah.
Oh,
Slowly moving up the hill.
Pretty much. And then we get all the cars up the hill and now it's like, fuck, we should probably move the trucks and trailers up the hill too, huh? While we're, before we get started. And it didn't work.
Huh.
So how far up the hill
why
did
did
you
you have
make?
to move the trucks and trailers? Just
to,
so like
to get them out later.
'cause you
have to go up
because
the
it's
hill.
gonna rain more.
You
Or
have to go
like,
up the
okay,
hill to
yeah.
get out the driveway.
Ah,
Oh,
okay.
It was gonna rain all.
Gotcha,
Yeah.
gotcha.
It was supposed to rain from like 4 a.m. until like 10 p.m. or so, like the
good
entire
Lord.
day.
Ah, okay.
So while we're already all soaked and wet and not racing yet, we're like, all right,
Yeah.
let's kind of
Yep.
everybody just kind of started going up the hill with their
Yep,
stuff.
yep.
Of course, a guy goes up and leaves a little bit of a rut, and the next guy goes up, dodges his ruts, leaves a little bit rut.
Yeah,
like-
this was a shit show.
Yeah,
at some
you
point,
rutted the whole
sounded
field
like.
up, didn't you?
So like the last like two people at the bottom of the hill are me and Tony.
Oh.
Now,
Yeah.
at least my trailer is pretty light. How big is your trailer? Do you know off the top of your head?
So
Yeah.
mine is 23 feet plus the actual hitch point,
Okay.
but it is aluminum.
Okay, that helps.
And I have pretty aggressive tires on the truck, so I was fairly confident
As
I would get.
This is
As
that
was
big
I.
enclosed, right? Is
Yeah,
that
big
Byron?
black
Yeah,
enclosed
yeah.
trailer.
Okay, yep.
Yep.
yeah, I was
Gotcha.
also pretty confident.
Did you
And,
make it?
Spoiler alert. No.
So Brian did not make it. I made it about halfway.
I made it
up,
about halfway up
and
as
then-
well. And I'm like,
Yep.
I'll back down, kind of side hill it, get some momentum and turn back up it. Yeah. And As soon as I went backwards, it never moved forward again.
Oof.
Fair.
Yep, exact same for me.
Jesus.
So both of us, we get
So
to the
you
bottom
guys
of
would
the-
have made it up the hill if nobody else routed it up? Is that what you're saying?
I would like to think so.
Yeah.
I like to pretend so anyway. Makes me feel better.
I don't.
Oh, jeez. I'll say, Tony, what do you have? Is it a 3/4 ton diesel something?
So it's a 2019 Nissan Titan diesel.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is that the strange year they put the Cummins in those things?
Yeah, it is.
A weird.
Yeah, they did it for like 2 or 3
It's a weird,
years.
like 5-liter V8 Cummins
okay.
or something.
So it's like a almost 3/4 ton. It's a heavy
Yeah,
half
I would
ton.
say it's
yeah,
3/4
heavy
ton.
half ton. Gotcha. Okay.
And very aggressive tires, and like it was at the point where I was like, yeah, I should probably move my shit up the hill before too much rain happens.
Yeah.
And I have very like off-roady tires, so it's like I'll be okay. I made about halfway up, and then I back down, and then went to take off again, and it was stuck.
Ah, so you
And I
guys
was
were
right
both
next
stuck
to
at the bottom of
Brian.
the hill?
we're both stuck like 30 feet
Yep.
apart from each other
Ah,
at the bottom of
love that.
this hill. I'm like, if it'll just start moving, I can make it, I'm sure. But it won't start moving.
fuck.
Just the trailer sunk into the soft.
Yep.
So who was that pulled us out?
It was Adam.
Yeah, Adam, and then his cousin or brother or whoever the other guy was.
So his friend Gray in the Yukon, I don't know if he pulled you out. So Adam pulled me out, but it took fucking everything he got. I don't know if you have a picture of it, but I know it's on Iowa's Facebook page where my truck is.
I say, I know.
I was curious. I was like, "Oh, Brian's truck's kind of nice." I mean, you have
I know
2019 Tundra. It sounds the same, but I'm like,
I know I saw
Damn,
the
y'all have
picture.
nice trucks, and I was like, "Oh, it's gonna suck if somebody's trying to pull you and just caking you."
Yeah,
Oh.
it's on the Facebook, the Iowa Region Facebook page. They have a picture of it.
because I know I saw it, and I'm
But-
like, oh my god, it's trashed.
Holy
Let me
fucking
open
shit.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Wow.
Yeah.
here's
that
Tony's
one.
truck.
Good
I'm pretty
Lord.
glad I didn't go now because mine is on
You would have sunk.
bald highway tires and it's a 1-ton diesel.
And it
You
weighs,
would've
yeah,
just
weighs more
fucking-
than
you
everybody
would've gone
else's.
up.
I
and
would
then
have.
just
There would have
sunk.
been 3 people pulling me up the hill if I didn't go first.
Good
so.
Lord. Fuck no, they would have
I
pulled you
had
down.
pretty aggressive tires, and Adam was pulling me up, and pretty
Yikes.
much, yeah, it was right after this picture.
Can you scroll through some of
he had his foot to the floor, I had my foot to the floor, and both of us were barely going up that
Yeah,
hill.
doing literally everything you could to get up
Good
it, and it just
Lord.
wasn't.
That
Yep.
looks like a
Oh,
fucking.
look at
is that
the
a
water in the
cobalt?
Yeah.
corner.
So here's what Sunday looked like.
Oh my god.
Standing water. Oh, did you just break my mic?
no,
I'll
it's the
fix
fucking
it.
thing fell out.
Oh,
hold
okay.
on.
I think he's got it. Oh, that's gonna
Sorry.
sound great on the audio. Anyway,
It's okay.
Did you fix it?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
cool.
have to. We're
But
gonna
yeah.
have to fix that. Later.
Here's what Sunday looked like.
Good Lord.
So
yeah,
that's-
that's
that poor
6
Chevy
inches of
Cobalt.
standing water in the fucking
In the
everything.
corners, in the
Yeah.
ruts.
So it's like,
Fuck, I want to do this so bad.
Did
now.
any of
God
y'all
damn
get
it.
stuck out there?
I don't think so.
That's
well,
kind
They
of
had
impressive.
momentum.
Well,
As long
see,
as you get
I
the
mean,
start, you're
yeah.
fine.
at least not while I was there. So on all the 2-wheel drive cars, we kind of get into the grid-ish after we get pulled up the hill. Mine was pretty good because my trailer didn't want to drag as bad, so I got up there pretty easily. Didn't get covered in mud and stuff.
Okay.
But by the time we got up there, like, we sent poor Ben DeShane out there to do our spotting lap for us. We're like,
In the mini.
you're like, go tell us how it is, because he was, already ready to go.
Yeah.
He comes back. He's like, I got fucking lost. I can't see. I can't turn. Like, first gear just spins. Second gear just bogs. I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome.
God damn.
He's like, we talked for a minute. He's like, yeah. He's like, I think I'm done. He's like, there's no point in me going
I'm
out
calling
there
it
again.
quits now.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's that bad? He's like, it's awful. He's like getting stuck in the grid trying to pull.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
He's like, I'm going to pull back in line. He like goes to move forward, can't. Goes to move
Yeah.
backwards, can't. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck. Like, this
Oh,
is nasty.
fuck. That's funny.
That sucks.
I would have liked to go out to do this, tearing up somebody else's field in the rain. That sounds awesome.
Difference is all-wheel drive.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yeah. I'm like, I would have a ball.
So we were kind of all just watching around. We're all like the two-wheel drive
fuck.
guys are like, I think we're all done today. I think this is an all-wheel drive kind of day.
That's fair. Oh, damn.
So the rest of us, pretty much all the two-wheel drive people kind of either loaded up or packed up or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
I decided to load the car up because I'm like, my only competition's Ben. He did one run and then left. I'm like,
Fair.
If
Yeah.
I start the lap, that means he has a chance to beat me. if I don't start the lap, that means I never existed and he didn't beat me.
Fair. Yeah, fair.
So no bragging rights for him, kind of. But yeah, we kind of all decided like, yeah, this isn't really not made for us. Now, however, you guys in the all-wheel drives, you guys did stay out there and do some stuff. How was Sunday for you guys?
So I had fun.
That's all that matters.
Did.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where, especially with Ben and you competing, like Benny is always he's competitive. You know, he's nervous. He was nervous Saturday morning. You know, he's like, oh, you know, I'm nervous because he beat you last time.
Yeah, it was me, right. Evan in the Fiesta, Ben in the Mini, and then me all the way down in third.
Yeah, so like he was very nervous and competitive and stuff like that, and I was like, Benny, just go out there and have fun, dude.
He's like, but yeah, always... winning's fun.
Yeah, but like I keep trying to tell him, you know, again, it's one of those things that sounds pompous for me to say. I have a trophy case at my house, and there's like 30 fucking trophies in there.
Yeah, after a while, you're like, it's just another one for the pile, you know?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's more space in my house that this is gonna take up.
Yeah, especially for Rallycross, I don't give a shit, dude. Like, go out there and have fun.
Yeah.
You know, if you're on podium, fucking great.
And that's awesome.
Other than that,
but
like, just have fun, dude.
Yeah, that's all we're there for, is just to have a good time, and winning is a side effect.
Yeah.
You know, I get it. You want to be competitive. You want to get on podium. I understand that. I do. But, you know, when it came, especially for fucking Sunday. And even Saturday. But it's just like, go out there and have fun. You know, when the lead organizer guy was like, yeah, you know, we're still racing. I was like, I don't think we should.
He kind of did like a show of hands. Who wants to race? Who wants to go home? And I'm like, I didn't move my hand. I kept going. I'm just like, I'll do it.
I'll say, let's see how the crowd or how the audience just kind of like, are we gonna do it?
Yeah, we sent Ben out as a guinea pig, and he's like, yeah, that kind of sucks. I'm like, oh,
damn.
I'm like, well, you make more power than me anyway, and if you're not making it through,
I'm going
great,
home.
You know?
Damn.
Yeah, like I went out there Sunday. I had fun. I was in gravel tires. Like I knew, especially Ben and his actual, you know,
his daily
tires.
driver on, you know, or you mean Ben Howe?
Yeah, Ben Howe.
Okay, yeah.
But, you know, he had super aggressive Rallycross tires, and it's like, yeah, you know, I'm not out here for a trophy. I don't give a shit, you know. And I always compare it to, like, the first Cars movie, where he was like, it's just an empty cup.
Oh, sure.
And it's like,
yep.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Because, again, I have a trophy case full of fucking trophies. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, like, you know, winning the first one is amazing.
Yeah.
And then winning your 100th one, you're like, all right, whatever, I'll take it.
Fuck,
like,
I'm sick of these.
You're like, I had fun doing it, and that's more important.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like I said, I'm gonna be mad next year if it doesn't rain, because I want to experience what you guys did. I would love to know.
You want the muck.
Yeah.
And the
I also, I was just thinking though, I'm like, if I would have went to this and blown my motor because I was out having fun, I'd have been so pissed because I had to fucking swap a motor in before the
last event.
I have to make this last event for November to get the championship.
Enough points to
because I only have 3 events under my belt. Yeah, so I'm like, I probably would have went out there, probably would have smoked my motor, and I'd been like, guys, we gotta slam a motor in this thing before.
Well, I think
that
leads into the like most ambitious fix of the weekend. How much do you know about Adam's car going wrong? Do you have a pretty good?
So a lot. I'm very good friends with Adam and Gray. So Gray was out there Saturday, right? So very first lap, he took off, shifted in second, had nothing in second.
I know. So I almost know the feeling. My trans is about to kiss itself goodbye. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, so he pulled off to the side. I got done with my lap. I stopped at grid. I look over, and because I was actually standing outside my car watching Gray, or hoping to watch Gray finish. I was like, I don't see him. I look over, and I see him parked. And I was like, oh, motherfucker, because Adam was just coming back from a work trip, so he wasn't even there. And him and Gray, race Adam's car. So I ran up to Gray, and he's like, yeah, I have nothing in second. I was like, well, Adam's kind of been expecting this, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
Okay, I wasn't sure if this was like a brand new problem or whatever, or if it was kind of like it's on its last leg.
Yeah, it's been expected.
Okay.
So I think the lap after that, I pulled down to see where Gray was, and Gray already had the car loaded on the trailer because they live an hour and a half from the venue. And he was like, Adam was supposed to be home that night.
Yeah, he was like flying back home at the moment.
Yeah, pretty much exactly when it happened, he was flying back home. So Gray was like, I'm pretty sure Adam has the spare tranny at the house. So Gray started driving back, and they ended up, swapping the tranny out that night on Saturday night.
Can I get a hell yeah?
That is a certified hell yeah moment.
Yep.
God damn.
Fuck it, we'll just rip it out, put the spare in. Fuck it.
I mean, that's
pretty much what happened. And
That's what a spare's for.
Adam had a little bit of fun on Sunday, so
Yeah, I'll say to do that and then just gonna go
show up
to
Sunday
the mud fest on Sunday. I'll say it depends your thoughts on the mud fest.
You got to break in that new tranny, man. You got to show it what its life's gonna be.
I'll say if you don't care and if it's all for fun, then hell yeah, that was worth it. But
now, so you took the broken one out, swapped it for the spare, so now you can take the broken one and fix it and have it ready to be a spare again.
You're one to talk about spares.
We'll get to that.
But yeah, that's got to be the most ambitious fix I've seen of the weekend. That was
that was pretty ballsy.
That whole family deserves awards for pulling us out and for fixing that thing.
Then putting it all back in.
100%.
That is always awesome.
Good for them.
I think in Mod All, 3 cars broke on the first laps. It was wild.
Oof.
On Sunday, like in the mud.
No, on Saturday.
No shit. Oh no shit.
That green Forester that usually races with us.
Yep.
They made it to turn 2 and the car just turned off.
Love that.
Just I'm like, oh god, that's not good. The guy hops out, jiggles something, it fires back up and drives away. I'm like,
he only added 20 seconds. He's fine.
And
We're
then
good.
went to turn 3 and did the same thing and turned off again.
That reminds me of back when I had the Blazer in high school. Once every week, I'd go out after school and try to start it, and it would just be dead key. Pop the hood, tighten the negative on the battery, starts right up. I'm like, yeah, it's fine.
Yeah,
I know my car.
Yeah.
It's fine.
yeah. I can
You just
got to
jiggle this the right way. Three times up, two
that's
times
all fine
down.
and dandy until you're in a race environment where you're getting time to do it. It
Especially
happens
on
in every corner.
on a
that case-
multi-minute long lap where there's probably 3, maybe 4 cars on course at once.
Yeah, that's rough.
At that point, you just put a piece of string through the dash and just start yanking on it.
I think it died the second time and they called it there.
Ah, that's fair.
Went and loaded
That's
it back up. And then there was an Evo 10 out there, which was going real
The
fast.
Evo,
Ooh,
yep.
hell yeah.
Do you know anything that went wrong with that? Because they did 2 or 3 laps and then just finished turn 1, turned off, and drove back to the paddock.
Oof.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with that, but I guess that car has been in safety before, and Ben was like, the car won nationals last year or something.
Okay.
Oh.
It was
He
fast.
was like, the car is either fast or it breaks, and then sure as shit, 2 months later, it's on the trailer.
Yeah, sure as shit. It was fast until it breaks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Get all the bugs out.
Yeah, got to work all the kinks out of it, But
You just have to break everything OEM to upgrade it to aftermarket to the when it never breaks again.
that's the
Sure.
theory.
Yeah, of
That's the
course.
theory anyway.
Until you start having to do custom shit.
Yeah.
When aftermarket doesn't solve your problem anymore.
Yeah,
that's when
that's-
custom fab and custom parts and all that
Right,
jazz.
you right.
turns into a whole big old thing. But
God
And
damn.
the whole car's just custom.
But yeah, that was the Freeze Your Curds Off rally. That
Damn.
was
Sounds like a fucking blast.
Oh,
Like I said, I honestly hope it rains next year because I would like to go have fun in a muddy field.
I mean, you might get
Bring
your,
a hose out and do it yourself.
Don't get me
you
wrong. Oh,
can
yeah.
jump in my car anytime.
Yeah, there you go.
Hell yeah. I would love that.
I said I need to. at
I've
some point
I'll say
just
I've
to
honestly
see-
wanted to go in your car just at Byron just to be like,
yeah.
I'm used to my 100 horsepower. And I'm like, this is kind of
Let's
cool.
see what an actual
yeah,
car can do.
fucking triple it and be like, this is kind of neat.
No, it's kind of fun.
I
but-
think the first time we went to Brian, Tony, when we saw your car, we were like, fuck, that thing's fucking cool.
Yeah, because showing up, we don't know what's going to be there.
Yeah.
Are these all amateur cars or is there professionals? We show up you guys got cages and it sounds cool and looks cool. It's
I think we've
oh,
always
no.
kind of, had starry eyes for you in your car.
It is such a good looking
It's
car.
fucking tits.
It looks proper.
It
It's
does.
meant to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful car. I love the livery on it and everything else, but at the same time, I'm out there to have fun.
It's just a car and you're just out there beating on it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, do you have any other major notes to throw in on this? Or are we going to wrap this thing up here pretty soon? I don't.
Nothing too crazy. I mean, it's one of those things, especially with Rallycross, just go out there and have fun. It should be fun. If you get to the point of stage rally, get a better job.
Yeah, the best way to make a small fortune racing is to start with a large fortune and lose it.
Correct.
Yep. It's insane how much it is, but at the same time, it's one of the most funnest things I've ever got to do. I'll send you a picture later, Brian, but at my last New England Forest Rally, I parked next to Travis Pastrana.
That's such a cool thing to be able to do.
Yeah, that's kind of braggy to. Yeah, fuck yeah.
100% is. Like, I had to move my car out of the way so he could take off.
That's awesome. It's like, watching
it's
from
so
the spectators is like, oh, I saw Travis Pastrana. Not like I parked next to him and he had to ask me to move. Like, that's a whole different level.
Hell
Yeah, then especially like on recce, the days prior to actually racing, all the, everybody's out on the same stages, usually the same time. Like, I've pulled up to a stage start, and like every stage start, there's a porta potty there, for all the crew and the workers and stuff like that. And I've waited outside the porta potty, and then the door opens and Travis walks out.
That's so cool. It's
Like,
just,
what the fuck, dude?
you're like, oh, you're just a normal guy too. Like, that's crazy.
100%.
That's so awesome.
And then my very first rally in 19, Oliver Solberg raced there. 17-year-old Oliver Solberg, who is the child of Petter Solberg, the multi-time world rally champion.
Yeah, one of the greatest drivers, period.
Yeah. So it's like, I got to race with this fucking kid.
And it's like, and he's still just a kid. Like, it's, he might be fast, might be cool, but he's doing the same thing you are, having just as much fun as you are.
That dude's just another motherfucker just like me.
Yeah, pretty much.
Super cool dude. And that's, when I raced in Missouri, because that was actually during COVID times, so they didn't allow any spectators. And me and my crew were walking through the service area, and we walked up to the Subaru cars, when they were starting them up and stuff like that. And Travis just walked up to us and started having conversation.
Because he's probably used to being swarmed by everybody around.
Yeah.
So you're the only people now. And he's like, well, I guess I'm talking to these guys.
Right?
Yep. There was absolutely nobody there, and he walked up and started talking to us. And at the time, I already met him a couple times. Obviously, he didn't know who I was.
Oh, yeah.
He has no idea.
But like, he just started talking to us and started talking about the race and stuff like that. And my co-driver's wife, who was fucking giddy and loved it, she was like hanging out in the background and just being really quiet and shy.
Like starstruck almost.
Yeah, one of those jaw hit the floor moments. Like, holy shit.
Is this real life right now? Like, he's just standing here talking to us?
Yeah,
and not because he has to. You didn't wait in line for an hour for a meet and greet. It's just you're walking
he's
past,
just chilling.
Yeah, y'all have the same passion. You're all in the same vicinity, and all of a sudden, you're bullshitting with the legend.
That's kind of cool.
That's exactly what it was. It's like, we didn't walk up to him. He walked up to us because we were racers. Because he knew there was nobody else there, and he was just talking to people. It was the coolest fucking thing ever.
That is so cool. All right. Well, do we have anything more to add, or is this about it for today?
No, I just have some car updates.
Well, we're already at like 2.
So did we lose him?
Did we lose you? Are you still there?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Is that like faded off kind of weird?
It faded off a little. I was like,
I thought so too. I'm like, I'm pretty sure he's still there.
Okay,
but
fair enough.
Yeah, I think we're already at the better part of 2 hours. I'll probably have 2 hours of editing into this. But we start and stop at 3 different times. But I think that's about it. Anything left to add, or is that about it, Tony?
I think that's about it.
All right. Where can everyone find you on the interwebs?
So I'm on Deep6Rally #6 all over Instagram, YouTube, everything else. Also just Tony Gearheart on Facebook.
Awesome.
Sick.
Well, I guess thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.